Your mind can become your greatest temple, or it can become your deepest prison, and the difference is not always your situation. Sometimes, the difference is the thoughts you allow to stay. A single toxic thought can steal your morning. A painful memory can ruin your whole day. One fear about the future can make you forget that this present moment is still safe. This is why Buddhism teaches us to protect the mind. Because once your mind becomes poisoned, even a peaceful life feels painful. Even good things feel heavy. Even small problems feel impossible. You stop seeing life clearly, not because life has changed, but because your thoughts have covered your vision. But the good news is this: the mind can be cleaned, the heart can become lighter, the noise inside you can become quiet again. So if your mind has been full of overthinking, fear, anger, regret, or emotional pain, stay with this message. You will learn how to let go of toxic thoughts and rebuild the mental clarity your soul has been waiting for. 1. Stop feeding the thoughts that hurt you. A toxic thought survives because you keep feeding it. Every time you repeat the same painful memory, you give it strength. Every time you imagine the worst future, you give fear more power. Every time you replay someone's words, you allow them to live rent-free inside your mind. Buddhism teaches that attention is energy. Whatever you give attention to grows. If you keep watering suffering, suffering grows. If you water peace, peace grows. This does not mean you should pretend pain does not exist. It means you should stop building a home inside pain. Notice the thought, understand it, and then gently return to the present moment. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me become peaceful, or is it poisoning my mind? If it is poisoning you, do not keep eating it. Let it pass. Your mind deserves better food than fear, anger, and regret. 2. Do not believe every story your mind tells you. Your mind is powerful, but it is not always honest. Sometimes your mind does not show you the truth. It shows you fear, doubt, and old pain. It creates stories based on what you are afraid of, not on what is really happening. It may say, you will fail. It may say, nobody cares about you. It may say, your life will never get better. But these thoughts are not always true. Many times, they are only habits your mind learned from past pain, disappointment, or fear. Buddhism teaches that suffering often comes from illusion. This means we do not only suffer because of what happens in life, we suffer because of the story we create around it. Someone does not reply to your message, and your mind says, they hate me. But maybe they are busy. One plan fails, and your mind says, everything is ruined. But maybe life is only redirecting you. You make one mistake, and your mind says, I am not good enough. But one mistake does not define your whole life. This is why you must be careful with your mind. Do not believe every fear, every doubt, or every painful story. A thought can feel real, but that does not mean it is true. When you understand this, your mind becomes calm, and you begin to see life with more peace and clarity. 3. Return to the present moment. Toxic thoughts often become stronger when your mind keeps living in the past or running into the future. The past brings regret, guilt, and painful memories. The future brings fear, worry, and doubt. But peace is not found in yesterday, and it is not found in tomorrow. Peace begins in the present moment. Buddhism teaches that the present moment is the only place where life is truly happening. You cannot change what already happened by thinking about it again and again. You cannot control the future by worrying about it all day. But you can control how you breathe, how you think, and how you respond right now. When your mind becomes heavy, bring yourself back to something simple. Take a slow breath. Feel your body sitting or standing. Listen to the sounds around you. Look at what is in front of you. These small actions remind your mind that you are here, not trapped in the past, and not lost in the future. The more you return to the present moment, the more your mind becomes clear. You stop giving power to thoughts that are not helping you. you begin to see that most of your suffering comes from living in places that do not exist anymore or have not happened yet. So whenever toxic thoughts rise, gently come back to now. This moment may not be perfect, but it is real. And when you return to what is real, your mind slowly becomes calm, steady, and peaceful again. 4. Let go of what you cannot control. One of the biggest reasons the mind becomes toxic is because it tries to control things that are not in its hands. You try to control what people think about you. You try to control how others treat you. You try to control the future, the timing of life, the result of your efforts, and even the way other people should understand your heart. But the more you try to control everything, the more your mind becomes tired. You start overthinking every small situation. You start imagining problems before they happen. You start feeling disappointed when life does not move the way you expected. Slowly, your peace disappears, not because life is always against you, but because your mind is holding too many things at once. Buddhism teaches that suffering begins when we cling too tightly. We cling to people. We cling to outcomes. We cling to plans. We cling to how life should be. But life is always changing. People change. Situations change. Feelings change. Plans change. Nothing stays exactly the same forever. This does not mean you should stop caring. It does not mean you should become lazy or careless. It means you should learn the difference between what is yours to do and what is not yours to carry. Your actions are in your control. Your effort is in your control. Your honesty is in your control. Your patience is in your control. Your response is in your control. But other people's behavior is not fully in your control. The past is not in your control. The future is not fully in your control. The final result is not always in your control. When you understand this, your mind becomes lighter. You stop fighting every situation. You stop begging life to happen exactly your way. You stop wasting your energy trying to change people who do not want to change. Sometimes, the most peaceful thing you can do is step back and say, I have done my part. Now I will let life unfold. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. A weak mind tries to force everything. A wise mind knows when to act and when to let go. If someone does not understand you, let go of the need to prove yourself again and again. If someone does not value you, let go of the need to beg for respect. If a plan fails, let go of the belief that your whole life is ruined. If the future feels uncertain, let go of the idea that you must have every answer today. You do not need to carry the whole world inside your head. You only need to take the next right step with a calm heart. When toxic thoughts appear, ask yourself, is this in my control? If the answer is yes, take peaceful action. If the answer is no, breathe deeply and release it. The mind becomes clear when it stops fighting what it cannot change. Peace begins when you stop holding what was never yours to hold. Now, protect your mind from negative people. Your mind is not only affected by your own thoughts, it is also affected by the people around you. The words you hear, the energy you allow, the conversations you repeat, and the emotions people bring into your life can slowly shape the way you think and feel. Some people do not enter your life with peace. They bring drama, criticism, anger, jealousy, complaints, and confusion. After spending time with them, your mind feels heavy. You start doubting yourself. You start feeling guilty for things that are not your fault. You start overthinking their words, their behavior, and their attitude. Slowly, their negativity becomes your inner noise. This is why Buddhism teaches awareness. You must be aware not only of your thoughts, but also of the environment that creates those thoughts. If you keep sitting near fire, you will feel heat. If you keep standing in a storm, you will feel disturbed. In the same way, if you keep allowing toxic people into your mind, your peace will not stay safe. Protecting your mind does not mean you hate people. It does not mean you become cold, rude, or selfish. It means you understand that your peace is valuable. It means you know that not every person deserves access to your inner world. You can be kind to people without letting their negativity control your emotions. You can forgive someone without allowing them to hurt you again and again. Sometimes, a negative person will make you feel like you are the problem. They will say you are too sensitive. They will make jokes that hurt you and then tell you to relax. They will disrespect your boundaries and then blame you for reacting. They will keep bringing confusion into your life, and when you feel tired, they will act like your pain is your weakness. But a peaceful mind cannot grow in a place where it is always being attacked. A calm heart cannot stay calm when it is constantly surrounded by noise. If someone keeps poisoning your mind, you must learn to step back. Buddhism teaches compassion, but compassion also includes wisdom. Compassion without wisdom can make you stay in places that destroy you. You may keep trying to understand someone, keep giving them chances, keep explaining your pain, and keep hoping they will change. But if their presence keeps making your mind suffer, then distance may be the most peaceful answer. You do not have to argue with every negative person. You do not have to prove your worth to everyone who misunderstands you. You do not have to explain your silence to people who never respected your words. Sometimes, the wisest response is not more talking. Sometimes, the wisest response is quiet distance. Protect your mind from people who always bring out the worst in you. Protect your mind from people who make you feel small. Protect your mind from people who enjoy your sadness, use your kindness, or disturb your peace for their own comfort. This does not mean you should judge everyone. It means you should pay attention to how people affect your inner world. After talking to someone, ask yourself, do I feel peaceful or drained? After spending time with someone, ask yourself, do I feel clear or confused? These questions will show you who is good for your mind and who is not. Your mind is like a clean room. If you allow everyone to enter with dirty shoes, the room will not stay clean. In the same way, if you allow every angry word, every jealous comment, every harsh opinion, and every toxic conversation to enter your mind, your thoughts will not stay pure. Choose your company carefully. Spend more time with people who bring calmness, honesty, wisdom, and encouragement. Listen to people who help you become better, not bitter. Stay close to those who respect your silence, understand your growth, and do not make your peace feel like a burden. And when you cannot avoid negative people completely, protect yourself from within. Do not absorb every word. Do not react to every insult. Do not carry their anger into your heart. Let their words pass through you like wind passing through trees. You can hear them without becoming them. Your peace is your responsibility. Your mind is your home. Do not let toxic people live inside it for free. When you protect your mind from negative people, you are not running away from life. You are choosing a healthier life. You are choosing clarity over confusion. You are choosing silence over drama. You are choosing peace over poison. A mind that is protected becomes strong. A heart that is protected becomes calm. And a life that is protected from unnecessary negativity becomes lighter, clearer, and more peaceful. 6. Clean your mind. Every day, your mind needs cleaning every day, just like your body needs cleaning every day. You do not take one shower and say, "Now I am clean forever." You do not clean your room once and expect it to stay clean for the rest of your life. Dust comes back. Dirt comes back. Things become messy again. In the same way, the mind also collects dust every day. Every day, your mind collects words, emotions, worries, memories, fears, complaints, judgments, and pressure. You wake up and start thinking. You hear people speak. You look at your phone. You compare your life with others. You remember something painful. You worry about something that has not happened yet. By the end of the day, your mind becomes full, heavy, and tired. Most people clean everything except their own mind. They clean their house, they clean their clothes, they clean their body, they clean their phone screen, but they do not clean the thoughts that are hurting them inside. They carry yesterday's anger into today, They carry last week's disappointment into this morning. They carry old guilt, old shame, old regret, and old fear like heavy bags on their back. This is why mental clarity becomes difficult. Your mind cannot be clear when it is filled with old emotional dust. Your heart cannot feel peaceful when it is carrying too many unfinished thoughts. Your soul cannot feel light when every day you keep adding more pain, more pressure, and more noise without releasing anything. Buddhism teaches that the mind is not naturally your enemy. The mind becomes painful when it is left untrained and uncleared. A mind that is not cleaned becomes like muddy water. If you keep shaking the water, the mud never settles. But if you leave the water still, slowly the mud goes down and the water becomes clear again. This is exactly what happens in meditation. Meditation is not about forcing your mind to become empty. Meditation is not about fighting every thought. Meditation is not about becoming a perfect person with no emotions. Meditation is simply sitting with yourself long enough for the mud to settle. When you sit quietly, at first, your mind may feel even louder. Thoughts will come, memories will come, feelings will rise. You may think, "I cannot meditate, my mind is too noisy." But this does not mean you are failing. It only means you are finally noticing how much noise was already inside you. Before you sat down, the noise was still there. You were just too busy to hear it. Meditation did not create the noise. Meditation revealed it. This is an important thing to understand. Many people run away from silence because silence shows them what they have been avoiding. When life is busy, you can distract yourself. You can scroll, talk, watch, work, eat, and keep moving. But when you become quiet, the mind starts showing you what it has been carrying. This is why daily mind cleaning is so important. If you never sit with your thoughts will secretly control your life. If you never observe your emotions will come out in your words, your reactions, your relationships, and your choices. A person who never cleans the mind becomes controlled by old pain. They react not only to what is happening now, but also to what happened before. Someone says one small thing, and they explode because the mind is already full. One problem comes, and they break down because the heart is already heavy. One disappointment happens, and they feel hopeless because the mind has not been cleared for a long time. But when you clean your mind every day, you create space inside yourself. You do not become emotionless. You become aware. You begin to notice what is happening inside you before it controls you. You notice anger before it becomes harsh words. You notice jealousy before it becomes bitterness. You notice fear before it becomes overthinking. You notice sadness before it becomes self-destruction. This awareness protects your peace. Cleaning the mind begins with simple stillness. You do not need a perfect room. You do not need special clothes. You do not need to sit for hours. You only need a few quiet minutes where you return to yourself. Sit down, keep your back relaxed. Close your eyes if you want. Take a slow breath in, then breathe out gently. Do not try to control everything. Do not try to push thoughts away. Let the breath become your anchor. When a thought comes, notice it. Do not chase it. Do not argue with it. Do not judge yourself for having it. Just notice. A thought has come. Then return to your breathing. If a painful memory comes, notice it. If fear comes, notice it. If regret comes, notice it. You do not need to follow every thought into a long story. You do not need to open every door the mind shows you. You can simply say, "This is a thought. This is not my whole life." This is how the mind becomes clean, not by force, but by awareness. Not by fighting, but by observing. Buddhism teaches that thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky. The sky does not fight the clouds. The sky does not run after the clouds. The sky allows them to appear and disappear. Your awareness is like the sky. Your thoughts are only clouds. Some clouds are dark, some are light, some pass quickly, some stay longer. but no cloud is permanent. In the same way, no thought stays forever unless you keep holding it, feeding it, and believing it. When you clean your mind every day, you learn to let thoughts pass. You stop building a home inside every emotion. You stop saying, "This thought is me." You start saying, "This thought is visiting me." This one difference changes your whole inner life. Many toxic thoughts become strong because you repeat them every day. You may wake up and immediately think, "My life is difficult." Then you think, "Nothing is changing." Then you think, "People do not understand me." Then you think, "Maybe I am not enough." By the time your day begins, your mind is already filled with heaviness. This is why morning mind cleaning is powerful. Before the world enters your mind, give yourself a few peaceful moments. Before you check your phone, check your heart. Before you listen to other people's noise, listen to your breath. Before you carry the day, empty some of yesterday's weight. Ask yourself, what am I carrying today that I no longer need? Maybe you are carrying anger from a conversation. Maybe you are carrying fear about the future. Maybe you are carrying guilt from a mistake. Maybe you are carrying someone's judgment. Maybe you are carrying a story that keeps hurting you. Do not carry everything automatically. Every morning, choose what deserves space in your mind. You can say to yourself, "Today, I release what is not helping me. Today, I will not feed fear. Today, I will protect my peace. Today, I will come back to my breath when my mind becomes heavy." These simple words may seem small, but repeated every day, they train the mind. The mind learns through repetition. If you repeat fear, fear becomes stronger. If you repeat peace, peace becomes stronger. If you repeat self-hate, self-hate becomes normal. If you repeat compassion, compassion becomes your new inner voice. Your mind becomes what you practice. Cleaning your mind also means being careful with what you allow into it. You cannot expect a peaceful mind if you keep feeding it poison. If you spend hours watching anger, drama, arguments, gossip, and comparison, your mind will naturally become disturbed. If you keep listening to people who complain all day, criticize everyone, and speak with bitterness, your mind will absorb some of that energy. This is not weakness, this is human nature. What you consume becomes part of your inner world. If you eat unhealthy food every day, your body feels it. If you consume unhealthy thoughts every day, your mind feels it. The mind also has a diet. Your conversations are part of that diet. Your videos are part of that diet. Your music, your social media, your environment, and your relationships are all part of what your mind consumes. So cleaning your mind is not only about meditation, it is also about choosing what you allow inside. Protect your mental diet. Choose silence sometimes. Choose wisdom sometimes. Choose peaceful words. Choose people who calm your nervous system. Choose books, teachings, and conversations that make you more aware, not more bitter. A clean mind does not happen by accident. It happens by daily choices. At night, you can also clean your mind before sleep. Many people take their worries to bed and then wonder why they cannot rest. The body is lying down, but the mind is still running. It replays the day. It imagines tomorrow. It creates problems. It remembers pain. It turns silence into overthinking. Before you sleep, give your mind permission to let go. Sit for a few moments. Breathe slowly. Review your day with kindness. If you made a mistake, learn from it, but do not punish yourself all night. If someone hurt you, acknowledge the pain, but do not let that person enter your sleep. If tomorrow is uncertain, remind yourself that you do not need to solve your whole life tonight. Say to yourself, "This day is complete. I release what I cannot change. I forgive myself for what I did not know. I allow my mind to rest." This is a beautiful practice. It closes the day with awareness instead of anxiety. It teaches your mind that rest is safe. Many people think peace means having no problems. But Buddhism teaches a deeper truth. Peace means learning how to relate to your mind, even when life has problems. You may still have responsibilities, you may still have pain, you may still have difficult days, but when your mind is clean, you do not turn every difficulty into a prison. A clean mind can face life more clearly. It does not make everything dramatic. It does not add unnecessary suffering. It does not create 10 problems from one problem. It looks at life with more balance. For example, when the mind is not clean, one criticism can ruin your whole day. But when the mind is clear, you can hear criticism and ask, is there something useful here? If yes, you learn. If no, you let it go. When the mind is not clean, one delay can create anger. But when the mind is clear, you can breathe and say, this is only a delay. I do not need to lose myself. When the mind is not clean, one bad memory can pull you back into old suffering. But when the mind is clear, you can say, that happened before. I am here now. This is the power of daily mind cleaning. It gives you space between what happens and how you respond. That space is where wisdom lives. You do not need to be perfect to practice this. Some days your mind will still be messy. Some days you will still overthink. Some days you will still feel anger, fear, sadness, or confusion. Do not use mindfulness as another reason to judge yourself. Cleaning the mind is not a punishment. It is an act of love. When you clean your mind, you are saying, I deserve peace. You are saying, I will not let every thought control me. You are saying, I will not let old pain decide my future. You are saying, my inner world matters. This is why the practice must be gentle. If you sit to meditate and your mind wanders, gently return. If you become angry, gently notice. If you fall back into old thinking, gently begin again. The path is not about never falling. The path is about returning. Buddhism is a path of returning. Returning to the breath, returning to awareness, returning to kindness, returning to the present moment, returning to peace. Every time you return, you are cleaning the mind. Think of your mind like a garden. If you leave a garden alone, weeds will grow. Not because the garden is bad, but because it needs care. Thirst. In the same way, toxic thoughts grow when the mind is ignored. Fear grows, anger grows, regret grows, comparison grows. But when you care for the garden, you remove the weeds and water the flowers. You water patience, you water gratitude, you water compassion, you water wisdom, you water peace. This daily care changes you slowly. At first, you may not see a big difference, but after days, weeks and months, your reactions become softer, your thoughts become clearer, your heart becomes lighter. You stop being pulled so easily by every emotion. You start becoming the watcher of your mind, not the prisoner of your mind. That is true mental clarity. A clear mind does not mean you know everything. It means you are not confused by every passing thought. It means you can see what is happening without adding unnecessary fear. It means you can feel emotions without drowning in them. It means you can meet life with steadiness. And the most beautiful thing is this: you can begin today. You do not need to wait until life becomes easy. You do not need to wait until your problems disappear. You do not need to wait until you become a peaceful person. You become peaceful by practicing peace now, even in small ways. Take one conscious breath. That is cleaning the mind. Pause before reacting. That is cleaning the mind. Let go of one painful thought. That is cleaning the mind. Choose not to replay one old argument. That is cleaning the mind. Speak kindly to yourself after a mistake. That is cleaning the mind. Spend 5 minutes in silence. That is cleaning the mind. Every small act of awareness removes a little dust. Every moment of mindfulness brings a little light. Every time you choose peace over poison, your mind becomes stronger. So make it a daily practice. Not because you are broken, but because you are human. The human mind needs care. It needs silence. It needs direction. It needs rest. It needs protection. Do not wait until your mind is full of pain before you take care of it. Clean it every day. Clear it every day. Return to yourself every day. When you clean your mind daily, toxic thoughts lose their power. Old pain stops controlling your present. Fear becomes easier to understand. Anger becomes easier to release. Worry becomes easier to calm. And slowly, your mind becomes like still water again. Clear, quiet, deep, peaceful. This is how you protect your mind from toxic thoughts. Not by fighting the mind, but by caring for it. Not by hating your thoughts, but by understanding them. Not by running from yourself, but by sitting with yourself gently every single day. A clean mind is a peaceful home. And when your mind becomes a peaceful home, you can live your life with more wisdom, more strength, and more clarity. 7. Do not carry anger like a treasure. Anger can feel powerful in the beginning. It makes you feel like you are protecting yourself. It makes you feel like you are standing up for your pain. It gives you a strong voice inside your head that says, "I was right. They were wrong. I should not forget what happened." And sometimes anger appears because something truly hurt you. Someone disrespected you. Someone betrayed your trust. Someone ignored your feelings. Someone treated you unfairly. So anger is not always evil. Anger is a signal. It tells you that something inside you has been touched, wounded, or crossed. But Buddhism teaches that if you hold anger for too long, the signal becomes poison. What was meant to alert you begins to control you. What was meant to protect you begins to burn you from the inside. This is why you must be careful with anger. You can feel anger, but you must not build your home inside it. You can learn from anger, but you must not let it become your identity. You can understand why you are angry, but you must not carry it like a treasure. Many people carry anger as if it gives them strength. They repeat the same painful story again and again. They remember what someone said. They remember what someone did. They remember how unfair it felt. They imagine what they should have said. They create arguments in their mind. They keep proving to themselves that they were hurt, that they were right, and that the other person was wrong. But while they are doing this, their peace is disappearing. The person who hurt them may not even be thinking about it anymore. They may be living their life, laughing, sleeping, eating, and moving forward. But the angry person is still trapped in the same moment. The event happened once, but the mind repeats it 1,000 times. The wound happened once, but anger keeps opening it again and again. This is how anger becomes suffering. It keeps the past alive inside the present. Buddhism teaches that holding anger is like holding a burning coal in your hand, hoping someone else will feel the pain. But the first person who burns is you. Your mind burns, your heart burns, your body burns, your peace burns. The other person may never even know how much fire you are carrying. This does not mean what they did was okay. Letting go of anger does not mean you agree with disrespect. It does not mean you forget your pain. It does not mean you allow people to hurt you again. Letting go means you stop allowing their actions to live inside your mind every day. There is a big difference between learning from pain and living inside pain. Learning from pain makes you wiser. Living inside pain makes you bitter. Learning from betrayal teaches you boundaries. Living inside betrayal makes you afraid of everyone. Learning from disrespect teaches you self-worth. Living inside disrespect makes you angry at life. You must ask yourself, is my anger teaching me, or is it trapping me? If anger teaches you to protect your peace, listen to it. If anger teaches you to leave a toxic situation, respect it. If anger teaches you not to repeat the same mistake, be thankful for the lesson. But if anger keeps you awake at night, controls your thoughts, hardens your heart, and steals your joy, then it is no longer helping you. It is hurting you. Many people are afraid to let go of anger because they think letting go means losing. They think, if I stop being angry, then they got away with it. But peace is not losing. Peace is freedom. You do not release anger because the other person deserves peace. You release anger because you deserve peace. You do not forgive to make the other person comfortable. You forgive to remove the poison from your own heart. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. Forgiveness does not always mean going back. Forgiveness does not mean trusting someone again. Sometimes forgiveness simply means, I will no longer let this pain control my mind. That is freedom. Buddhism teaches compassion, but compassion begins with understanding. When someone hurts you, it is natural to see only their action. You see their words. You see their behavior. You see their betrayal. But if you look deeper, many people act from their own confusion, fear, ignorance, and suffering. This does not excuse them. It only helps you understand that their behavior came from their own unhealed mind. A peaceful person does not usually go around destroying others. A clear mind does not usually enjoy creating pain. Most harmful actions come from a mind that is already disturbed. People who are full of anger spread anger. People who are full of insecurity spread criticism. People who are full of pain often pass that pain to others. Again, this does not make their behavior right, but it helps you stop taking everything into the deepest part of your soul. It helps you say, this person acted from their own darkness. I do not need to carry that darkness inside me. That is wisdom. If someone throws dirt at you, you do not have to pick it up and keep it in your pocket. If someone speaks with bitterness, you do not have to drink their poison. If someone acts without awareness, you do not have to lose your own awareness. Their behavior belongs to them. Your response belongs to you. This is where your power lives. Anger becomes dangerous when it makes you become like the thing that hurt you. Someone was cruel to you, and now you become cruel in your thoughts. Someone was harsh with you, and now your inner voice becomes harsh. Someone disrespected you, and now you carry disrespect toward everyone. Someone broke your trust, and now you punish people who never hurt you. This is how pain spreads. One person's unconscious action enters your mind, and if you do not clean it, you pass it forward. You become more suspicious, more reactive, more closed, more bitter. The original wound becomes a pattern. Buddhism teaches mindfulness because mindfulness breaks the pattern. It gives you a moment of awareness before anger becomes action. It helps you pause before speaking. It helps you breathe before reacting. It helps you see the fire before you throw it at someone else. When anger rises, do not immediately follow it. Stop. Breathe. Feel it in the body. Maybe your chest is tight. Maybe your jaw is tense. Maybe your hands feel restless. Maybe your heart beats faster. Instead of saying, I am angry, say, anger is present. This small change matters. When you say, I am angry, you become the anger. But when you say, anger is present, you become the observer. You create space between yourself and the emotion. In that space, wisdom can enter. You can ask, what is this anger trying to show me? Maybe it is showing you that a boundary was crossed. Maybe it is showing you that you need rest. Maybe it is showing you that you are still hurt. Maybe it is showing you that you expected love from someone who could not give it. Maybe it is showing you that you have been silent for too long. Anger often hides a deeper pain. Under anger, there may be sadness. Under anger, there may be fear. Under anger, there may be disappointment. Under anger, there may be a heart that wanted to be loved, respected, understood, or protected. If you only attack the anger, you may never understand the wound beneath it. But if you sit with anger gently, you may discover what your heart truly needs. This is why Buddhism does not tell you to hate your anger. It teaches you to understand it. Anger is not your enemy when you observe it. Anger becomes your enemy when you blindly obey it. A person who obeys anger will say things they later regret. They will hurt people they love. They will destroy opportunities. They will make decisions from pain and then suffer from the consequences. Anger is fast, but wisdom is slow. Anger wants to react now. Wisdom asks you to breathe first. Not every emotion deserves immediate action. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is wait until the storm inside you becomes quiet. You do not have to reply while your heart is burning. You do not have to make a decision while your mind is full of fire. You do not have to prove your pain in the moment when your peace is already weak. Give yourself time. Let the fire cool. Then speak from clarity, not from chaos. There is a difference between expressing truth and attacking from anger. You can say, "That hurt me," without trying to destroy someone. You can say, "I need distance," without hatred. You can say, "This is not acceptable for me," without losing your dignity. You can walk away without throwing poison behind you. This is strength. A calm person is not weak. A calm person has learned not to become a servant of every emotion. Anyone can explode. Anyone can shout. Anyone can react. But it takes real strength to feel anger and still choose awareness. The world often praises loud anger. It says power is in shouting, winning, proving, and attacking. But Buddhism teaches a quieter power. The power to remain awake inside your own fire. The power to protect your mind when someone tries to pull you into their storm. The power to leave without hate. The power to speak without cruelty. The power to let go without becoming cold. This kind of power cannot be seen easily, but it can be felt deeply. When you carry anger for a long time, it changes the way you see life. Your mind starts searching for more reasons to stay angry. You begin to notice every small insult. You become sensitive to every mistake. You start expecting people to hurt you. You interpret neutral things as attacks. Your nervous system stays ready for battle. This is not peace. This is living in a mental war. And the sad thing is, many people become so used to anger that peace feels strange to them. They do not know who they are without the fight. Their pain becomes their identity. Their anger becomes their protection. Their bitterness becomes their story. But you are more than what hurt you. You are more than the person who betrayed you. You are more than the words that broke you. You are more than the memory you keep replaying. You do not need anger to prove that your pain was real. Your healing is proof enough. Letting go of anger does not happen in one moment for everyone. Sometimes anger has deep roots. Sometimes the pain was very real. Sometimes the wound was repeated many times. So do not force yourself to become peaceful overnight. Do not pretend you are fine when you are not. Do not shame yourself for feeling anger. But also do not worship anger. Do not keep it alive just because it feels familiar. Do not feed it every morning. Do not sleep with it every night. Do not make it your closest companion. You can begin with small releases. Release the argument you keep repeating in your mind. Release the need to make them understand everything. Release the desire to punish them in your thoughts. Release the fantasy that anger will change the past. Release the belief that peace means weakness. Take one breath and say, "I am allowed to be free from this." This sentence is powerful because many people do not feel allowed to be free. They feel loyal to their pain. They think if they stop suffering, they are disrespecting what happened. But your suffering does not honor your pain. Your healing honors it. Your peace honors it. Your growth honors it. You are allowed to move forward. You are allowed to stop replaying the wound. You are allowed to become happy again without waiting for an apology. Sometimes the apology will never come. Sometimes the person will never understand. Sometimes they will never admit what they did. If your peace depends on their apology, then your peace is still in their hands. Buddhism teaches you to take your peace back. You may never receive the words you wanted. You may never receive the justice your heart asked for. But you can still choose not to let that person own your mind. This is not easy, but it is possible. When anger returns, treat it like a visitor. Do not panic. Do not say, "I thought I was healed. Why am I angry again?" Healing is not always a straight line. Sometimes old pain returns because something reminded you of it. Sometimes anger comes back because the wound still needs attention. When this happens, breathe and observe. Say, "Anger has returned. I see you. I will listen, but I will not be controlled by you." This is mindfulness. You can even place your hand on your heart and speak gently to yourself. Say, "I know this hurt. I know this was unfair. I know you are tired." But we do not need to keep burning. We can protect ourselves without poisoning ourselves. This is compassion. Anger softens when it is met with awareness and compassion. It becomes less wild. It becomes less controlling. It becomes a message instead of a master. Another powerful Buddhist practice is loving kindness. At first, it may feel impossible to send kind thoughts to someone who hurt you, so do not begin there if your heart is not ready. Begin with yourself. Say, "May I be peaceful. May I be free from anger. May I be safe. May I be healed." Repeat this slowly. Let your own heart receive kindness first. Then, when you are ready, you can say, "May I not carry this hatred anymore." You are not blessing their harmful action. You are freeing your mind from hatred. You are choosing not to drink poison just because someone handed it to you. Eventually, if your heart becomes strong enough, you may even wish that the other person becomes wiser, not because they deserve your kindness, but because wiser people create less suffering in the world. A person who heals stops hurting others. A person who awakens stops spreading pain. This is the deeper meaning of compassion. It does not protect harmful behavior. It wishes for ignorance to end. But remember, compassion does not mean access. You can wish someone peace and still keep distance. You can forgive someone and still never return. You can release anger and still maintain strong boundaries. In fact, clear boundaries often make forgiveness easier because your mind knows you are safe. Do not confuse letting go with allowing harm. Buddhism is not teaching you to be a doormat. It is teaching you to be free from hatred while still living with wisdom. If someone continues to hurt you, distance is wisdom. If someone keeps disturbing your mind, silence is wisdom. If someone refuses to respect your boundaries, leaving is wisdom. You can do all of this without anger controlling you. The goal is not to become passive. The goal is to become clear. A clear mind can say no. A clear mind can walk away. A clear mind can protect itself. But it does not need hatred to do it. This is the difference between reaction and wisdom. Reaction says, "I want to hurt you because you hurt me." Wisdom says, "I will not allow this pain to continue." Reaction burns everything. Wisdom creates protection. Reaction is controlled by the wound. Wisdom is guided by awareness. The more you practice this, the more peaceful your life becomes. You start noticing that many battles do not need your energy. Many comments do not need your response. Many memories do not need another replay. Many people do not need another explanation. Many situations can be released with silence. Silence is not always weakness. Sometimes silence is the sound of a mind choosing peace. When you stop carrying anger, you create room for better things. You create room for joy. You create room for creativity. You create room for love. You create room for rest. You create room for new beginnings. Anger takes space. It occupies your thoughts. It steals your morning. It follows you into conversations. It appears when you are trying to sleep. It makes the body tense and the face heavy. It makes the heart suspicious. It makes the mind tired. Peace also needs space. If anger fills the room, peace cannot enter. So each day, empty a little anger from your heart. You do not have to release everything at once. Just release one layer, one memory, one sentence, one argument, one expectation, one need to be understood by someone who refuses to understand. Let the heart breathe again. You may say, "But what they did was too painful." Yes, maybe it was, but keeping anger forever will not undo it. It will only keep you connected to it. Anger is like an invisible rope tying you to the person, the moment, and the wound. Letting go cuts the rope. You are not letting them win. You are letting yourself live. You deserve a mind that is not controlled by someone else's actions. You deserve a heart that can feel peace again. You deserve a life that is not built around old pain. Buddhism teaches impermanence. Everything changes. The anger you feel today can change. The pain you carry can change. The story you believe can change. The mind that was once full of fire can become cool again. The heart that was once heavy can become open again. Nothing inside you is fixed forever. This means there is hope. You are not doomed to carry anger for the rest of your life. You are not trapped inside the same emotional prison. With awareness, patience, and daily practice, your mind can become free. Begin by noticing anger when it appears. Then breathe. Then ask what it is teaching you. Then choose a response that protects your dignity. Then release what does not need to be carried. This is the path. Do not carry anger like a treasure. It is not treasure. It is weight. It is fire. It is a chain. It may feel powerful for a moment, but over time, it steals the softness of your heart and the clarity of your mind. Your peace is more valuable than the need to keep proving how much you were hurt. Your freedom is more valuable than the desire to replay the past. Your clarity is more valuable than the fire of resentment. So let anger teach you, but do not let it own you. Let it show you where boundaries are needed, but do not let it turn your heart into stone. Let it wake you up, but do not let it become your home. Hold your pain with compassion. Hold your boundaries with strength. Hold your life with wisdom. Then slowly open your hand and release the burning coal. You were not born to live with fire in your chest forever. You were not meant to carry every insult, every betrayal, every disappointment, and every painful memory until your mind becomes exhausted. You are allowed to put it down. You are allowed to choose peace. You are allowed to become free. And when you stop carrying anger like a treasure, your mind becomes lighter. Your heart becomes softer. Your life becomes clearer. You begin to understand that true strength is not in holding the fire. True strength is in knowing when to let it go. 8. Speak to yourself with compassion. One of the most toxic voices you will ever hear is not always the voice of another person. Sometimes it is the voice inside your own mind. It is the way you speak to yourself when you make a mistake. It is the way you judge yourself when you feel weak. It is the way you attack yourself when life does not go as planned. Many people are kind to others, but cruel to themselves. They forgive other people's mistakes, but they punish themselves for their own. They comfort others when they are sad, but when they themselves are sad, they say, "Why am I so weak?" They encourage others to keep going, but when they struggle, they say, "I am useless. I always fail. I will never become better." This is how toxic thoughts grow. They do not always begin as big problems. Sometimes they begin as small, cruel words repeated every day. I am not enough. I am behind. I am a failure. Nobody will love me. I ruin everything. I should have done better. When you repeat these words again and again, they become the atmosphere of your mind. Buddhism teaches compassion for all living beings. But many people forget that they are also a living being. You are also someone who deserves kindness. You are also someone who deserves patience. You are also someone who deserves understanding. Compassion is not complete if it includes everyone except you. A peaceful mind cannot grow in a place where it is constantly attacked. If your inner voice is always blaming you, insulting you, and reminding you of your weaknesses, your mind will never feel safe. You may look calm outside, but inside you will feel like you are living with an enemy. This is why you must learn to speak to yourself with compassion. Speaking to yourself with compassion does not mean lying to yourself. It does not mean pretending you never make mistakes. It does not mean avoiding responsibility. It means correcting yourself without destroying yourself. It means being honest without being hateful. It means learning from your mistakes without turning them into a reason to hate who you are. There is a big difference between awareness and self-attack. Awareness says, I made a mistake. I need to learn from this. Self-attack says, I am a terrible person. I always ruin everything. Awareness helps you grow. Self-attack makes you feel trapped. Awareness gives you direction. Self-attack gives you shame. Buddhism teaches the middle path. This means you do not ignore your mistakes, but you also do not drown yourself in them. You see clearly, learn gently, and move forward with wisdom. Think about how you speak to someone you love. If they came to you with tears in their eyes and said, I failed, I feel lost, I do not know what to do, would you insult them? Would you tell them they are useless? Would you tell them their life is over? No. You would speak gently. You would say, you are human, you can learn, you can begin again. But when you are the one who is hurting, you often deny yourself that same kindness. You become harsh. You become impatient. You expect yourself to be perfect. You forget that you are also human. This is where suffering becomes deeper. Pain is already heavy, but self-judgment makes it heavier. Failure is already difficult, but calling yourself a failure makes it more painful. A mistake already teaches you something, but shame turns the lesson into a prison. You must understand this clearly. Your mind listens to the way you speak to yourself. If you keep saying, I am weak, your mind begins to believe weakness is your identity. If you keep saying, I cannot change, your mind stops trying. If you keep saying, I am not worthy, your heart starts accepting less than it deserves. But if you begin to speak with compassion, something inside you slowly changes. You start feeling safer within yourself. You start trusting yourself again. You start believing that even when life is hard, you will not abandon yourself. This inner safety is powerful. A person who speaks kindly to themselves becomes stronger, not weaker. Many people think harshness creates discipline. They think if they criticize themselves enough, they will improve. But cruelty does not create true growth. It creates fear. It may push you for a short time, but it will also make you tired, anxious, and unhappy. Compassion creates deeper strength. When you are compassionate with yourself, you do not stop improving. You improve from a place of care, not hatred. You say, I want to grow because I deserve a better life, not I must grow because I am worthless. These two energies are very different. One brings peace, the other brings pressure. Buddhism teaches that the mind can be trained. Your inner voice is not fixed forever. Maybe you learned to be harsh with yourself because someone was harsh with you. Maybe you learned to judge yourself because you were judged by others. Maybe you learned to hide your pain because people made you feel weak for having feelings. But what was learned can also be unlearned. You can train the mind to speak differently. At first, compassionate self-talk may feel strange. If you have spent many years attacking yourself, kind words may feel uncomfortable. You may not believe them immediately. When you say, I am learning, your mind may respond, no, you are failing. When you say, I deserve peace, your mind may say, no, you do not. This is normal. Old habits do not disappear in one day. But every time you choose a kinder thought, you weaken the old pattern. Every time you refuse to insult yourself, you protect your mind. Every time you speak with patience, you water the seed of peace. Start with small words. You do not have to say something big that feels false. Begin with simple truth. Say, this is hard, but I can breathe. Say, I made a mistake, but I can learn. Say, I am hurt, but I am still here. Say, I do not need to hate myself to become better. These words are not fake. They are balanced. They are honest and kind at the same time. When toxic thoughts appear, do not fight them with more anger. If your mind says you are not good enough, do not become angry at yourself for having that thought. Simply notice it. Say, this is a painful thought. This is not the full truth. Then offer a wiser response. Say, I may be struggling, but I am still growing. This is how you rebuild the mind. Compassion is not only a feeling, it is a practice. Some days you will feel it deeply. Some days you will only practice it through words. That is okay. The practice still matters. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls many times, but you do not shout, "You are useless. Why can't you walk perfectly?" You smile, help the child stand, and encourage them to try again. Why? Because you understand that falling is part of learning. You must give yourself the same understanding. You are still learning how to live. You are still learning how to heal. You are still learning how to love yourself. You are still learning how to protect your peace. You are still learning how to let go of toxic thoughts. So when you fall, do not punish yourself. Help yourself stand again. Buddhism teaches that life is impermanent. Everything changes. Your thoughts change. Your emotions change. Your mistakes change. Your pain changes. Your identity is not fixed in one moment of failure. Just because you made a mistake yesterday does not mean you must carry shame forever. Just because you were weak one day does not mean you are weak forever. Just because you were lost before does not mean you cannot become clear now. Impermanence is hope. It means you can begin again. But if you keep speaking to yourself as if your worst moment is your whole identity, you will stay trapped. You must allow yourself to change. You must allow yourself to grow beyond old mistakes. You must allow yourself to become someone new. A compassionate inner voice says, "I see what happened, but I will not define myself by it." It says, "I accept responsibility, but I will not carry endless shame." It says, "I can be honest about my weakness without forgetting my worth." This kind of inner voice heals the mind. Many toxic thoughts come from comparison. You look at someone else's life, and suddenly your own life feels small. You see someone succeeding, and your mind says, "You are behind." You see someone happy, and your mind says, "Your life is empty." You see someone loved, and your mind says, "You are not enough." Comparison is one of the fastest ways to turn your mind against yourself. It makes you forget your own path. It makes you measure your life by someone else's timing. But Buddhism teaches that each being has their own karma, their own journey, their own lessons, their own suffering, and their own awakening. You cannot understand someone's whole life by looking at the outside. You see their success, but not their struggle. You see their smile, but not their private pain. You see their progress, but not their sacrifices. So do not use someone else's visible life to insult your hidden journey. Speak to yourself with compassion when comparison appears. Say, "Their path is theirs, my path is mine. I do not need to hate my life because someone else is living differently." This thought protects your peace. You are allowed to grow at your own speed. You are allowed to take time. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to rebuild slowly. Not every flower blooms in the same season, but that does not mean the flower has failed. Another place where self-compassion is needed is during sadness. Many people judge themselves for being sad. They say, "I should be stronger." They say, "Other people have worse problems." They say, "Why am I still hurt?" But sadness does not make you weak. Sadness shows that your heart has felt something deeply. You do not heal sadness by shaming it. You heal sadness by holding it gently. When sadness comes, speak to yourself like this: "I am feeling pain right now. I do not need to run from it. I do not need to hate myself for it. This feeling will pass, and I can be kind to myself while it is here." This is a Buddhist way of meeting emotion. You do not become the sadness. You do not fight the sadness. You notice it, allow it, and care for yourself while it moves through you. The same is true for fear. When fear appears, do not say, "I am stupid for being afraid." Say, "Fear is here because my mind wants safety. I can listen to it, but I do not have to obey every fearful story." This gives you power. Fear becomes more toxic when you shame yourself for having it. But when you observe fear with compassion, it becomes easier to understand. Maybe fear is asking for preparation. Maybe fear is asking for rest. Maybe fear is asking for reassurance. Maybe fear is only a memory from the past, trying to protect you from being hurt again. Compassion helps you listen without becoming controlled. This is the heart of mindfulness. You watch what is happening inside you with kindness. You do not judge every thought. You do not punish every emotion. You do not reject every uncomfortable feeling. You create a safe space within yourself where everything can be seen clearly. When the mind feels safe, it becomes clear. When the mind feels attacked, it becomes defensive, noisy, and confused. So ask yourself honestly, is my mind a safe place for me? Or is it a place where I am constantly judged? If your mind has not been safe, do not feel hopeless. You can change the atmosphere inside. You can begin today with one compassionate sentence, one small pause, one softer response, one moment where you refuse to insult yourself. This is how transformation begins. You may not control every thought that enters your mind, but you can choose how you respond to it. You may not stop every old wound from speaking, but you can answer it with wisdom. You may not feel confident every day, but you can still speak to yourself with respect. Respect yourself even when you are not at your best. Anyone can speak kindly to themselves when life is going well. The real practice is speaking kindly to yourself when you are tired, confused, disappointed, or afraid. That is when compassion matters most. When you fail, say, "This is a lesson, not the end of me." When you feel behind, say, "I am moving at the speed of my own life." When you feel unloved, say, "My worth does not disappear because someone failed to see it." When you feel lost, say, "Even this confusion can become part of my path." When you feel broken, say, "I am hurt, but I am not hopeless." These words may not fix everything immediately, but they stop you from making the wound deeper. They stop you from turning pain into self-hatred. They give your heart a place to rest. Buddhism teaches right speech. Many people think right speech only means how we speak to others. But right speech also matters inside the mind. The words you speak silently to yourself are also speech. If your inner speech is full of cruelty, your mind will suffer. If your inner speech is full of patience, your mind will heal. So practice right speech within yourself. Do not lie to yourself. Do not insult yourself. Do not create unnecessary fear. Do not speak words that make your heart smaller. Speak words that are true, useful, gentle, and wise. Before you say something to yourself, ask, "Is this helpful? Is this kind? Is this true? Will this lead me toward peace or deeper suffering?" If the thought is not helpful, do not keep repeating it. If the thought is cruel, do not treat it like wisdom. Cruelty is not wisdom. Shame is not wisdom. Self-hatred is not wisdom. A wise inner voice may be firm, but it is not cruel. It may correct you, but it does not destroy you. It may say, "You need to change this," but it does not say, "You are worthless." Learn the difference. You can be disciplined and compassionate at the same time. You can be serious about your growth without hating yourself. You can hold yourself accountable without turning your mind into a battlefield. In fact, the more compassionate you become, the easier discipline becomes. Because you are no longer running from yourself, you are no longer afraid to look at your mistakes. You can face the truth, because the truth is no longer being used as a weapon against you. This is powerful. A person who hates themselves avoids looking within because every truth feels painful. But a person who practices compassion can look within honestly. They can say, "This needs healing, this needs improvement, this needs attention," and they can do it without shame. This is how real growth happens. Self-compassion also protects you from needing too much validation from others. When your inner voice is cruel, you become desperate for someone outside to make you feel okay. You need praise. You need approval. You need someone to tell you that you matter. But when you begin speaking to yourself with kindness, You become less dependent on external approval. You can still appreciate love from others, but you do not collapse without it. You can still enjoy praise, but you do not need it to feel human. You can still listen to criticism, but you do not let it destroy your identity. A compassionate inner voice becomes your inner home. Wherever you go, you carry safety with you. This does not mean you never need people. Human beings need connection. But it means you stop abandoning yourself while waiting for others to save you. You stop treating your own heart like it does not matter. You stop begging the world to give you the kindness you refuse to give yourself. There is a deep peace in becoming your own friend. Imagine living with a mind that does not attack you all day. Imagine making a mistake and responding with wisdom instead of hatred. Imagine feeling sad and holding yourself gently instead of feeling ashamed. Imagine looking at your life and saying, "It is not perfect, but I am still worthy of peace." This is possible, but it begins with daily practice. Every morning, before the world speaks to you, speak to yourself with care. Say, "May I be peaceful today. May I be patient with myself. May I not believe every toxic thought. May I remember that I am still learning." During the day, when pressure comes, return to that kindness. When something goes wrong, pause before attacking yourself. When someone criticizes you, breathe before turning their words into your identity. When your mind becomes heavy, place one compassionate thought inside it. At night, before you sleep, release the harshness of the day. Do not go to bed insulting yourself. Do not close your eyes with shame as your final thought. Say, "Today was not perfect, but I lived it. I learned something. I am allowed to rest." Rest is easier when the mind is not fighting itself. The more you do this, the more your inner world changes. Slowly, the cruel voice becomes weaker. Slowly, the compassionate voice becomes stronger. Slowly, your mind stops feeling like a punishment and starts feeling like a place of healing. And remember, compassion is not something you earn after you become perfect. Compassion is what helps you become better. You do not wait until you are healed to speak kindly to yourself. You speak kindly to yourself so healing can begin. You do not wait until you never fail. You speak kindly even when you fail. You do not wait until you feel strong. You speak kindly when you feel weak. You do not wait until your life is clear. You speak kindly when everything feels uncertain. This is the path of inner peace. Toxic thoughts lose power when they are met with compassion. A thought may say, "You are not enough," but compassion answers, "I am still growing." A thought may say, "You ruined everything," but compassion answers, "I can learn and begin again." A thought may say, "No one cares," but compassion answers, "I can care for myself in this moment." This is not weakness. This is mental clarity. Because clarity is not only seeing the world clearly, it is also seeing yourself clearly, not as perfect, not as worthless, but as human. A human being with pain and potential, a human being with mistakes and wisdom, a human being still learning how to live with a peaceful heart. So speak to yourself with compassion. Be careful with your inner words. Do not let your mind become a place where your spirit is constantly wounded. Make your inner voice softer, wiser, and more patient. When you become kind to yourself, you stop adding extra suffering to your life. You stop turning every mistake into shame. You stop turning every weakness into identity. You stop turning every hard day into proof that you are failing. You begin to breathe again. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to heal from the inside. And slowly, your mind becomes less toxic, less violent, and less heavy. It becomes more peaceful, more forgiving, and more clear. Because a mind that is treated with compassion becomes a mind that can finally rest. You have criticized yourself enough. You have punished yourself enough. You have carried enough shame. Now it is time to speak to yourself in a new way. Speak with patience. Speak with kindness. Speak with wisdom. Speak with love. Because the voice you hear most in life is your own. Make sure that voice helps you heal, not suffer. 9. Stop living inside old pain. Old pain is one of the strongest sources of toxic thoughts. Sometimes the painful moment is already gone, but the mind keeps living there. The person has left. The event has ended. The words were spoken long ago. The mistake happened in the past. But inside your mind, it still feels alive. You keep remembering it. You keep replaying it. You keep asking why it happened. You keep imagining how things could have been different. This is how the past becomes a prison. The pain may have happened once, but your thoughts make you suffer from it many times. Someone hurt you one time, but your mind repeats the hurt every night. Someone betrayed you once, but your mind makes you feel betrayed again and again. You failed at something once, but your mind keeps using that failure to tell you that you are not enough. In this way, the past does not stay in the past. It enters your present and steals your peace. Buddhism teaches that suffering becomes deeper when we cling. We cling to memories. We cling to old versions of people. We cling to things we wish had happened. We cling to moments we cannot change. We cling to the question, why did this happen to me? And because we keep holding it, the wound stays open. But life is always moving. Nothing stays the same forever. This is one of the deepest teachings in Buddhism. Everything is impermanent. Pain is impermanent. Fear is impermanent. Sadness is impermanent. The person you were yesterday is also impermanent. You are changing, even when you do not notice it. But when you live inside old pain, you forget this truth. You start believing that what happened before is still who you are today. You think one heartbreak means your heart will never be safe again. You think one failure means your future is finished. You think one betrayal means nobody can be trusted. You think one painful season means your whole life will remain painful. But this is not truth. This is the mind trapped in a memory. A memory is not the present moment. A memory is something your mind is showing you. It may feel real, but it is not happening right now. The body may react as if the pain is happening again. Your chest may feel heavy. Your stomach may tighten. Your eyes may fill with tears. Your heart may begin to race. But still, you must gently remind yourself, this is a memory. This is not my whole life. This reminder is powerful. It brings you back from the past into the present. It helps you see that you are no longer standing in the same moment that hurt you. You are here now. You survived it. You are breathing. You are growing. You are not the same person you were when that pain first happened. Old pain becomes toxic when you keep using it to define yourself. You say, I am broken because of what happened. You say, I can never be happy again. You say, I will never trust anyone. You say, my life changed forever, so there is no hope. These thoughts may come from pain, but they are not the final truth of your life. You may be hurt, but you are not only hurt. You may have been betrayed, but you are not only betrayed. You may have failed, but you are not a failure. You may have lost something, but your life is not over. One painful chapter is not the whole book. Buddhism teaches us to see clearly. Seeing clearly means understanding that pain happened, but also understanding that pain does not have to become your permanent home. Many people do not live in the past because they want to suffer. They live there because they are still looking for answers. They think, if I understand why it happened, maybe I can finally feel peace. They keep replaying the situation, searching for one missing detail, one explanation, one reason that will make the pain easier to accept. But sometimes the answer never comes. Sometimes people hurt you without giving you a proper explanation. Sometimes life changes without asking your permission. Sometimes you lose something and never fully understand why. If your peace depends on getting a perfect answer from the past, your peace will remain trapped there. Healing begins when you stop waiting for the past to explain itself perfectly. You may never understand everything. You may never receive the apology you deserved. You may never hear the truth you wanted. But you can still choose to stop letting that unanswered pain control your mind. This is not easy. but it is freedom. There is a difference between remembering and living there. Remembering means you know what happened. Living there means you keep feeling as if it is still happening. Remembering can make you wiser. Living there makes you tired. Remembering can protect you from repeating mistakes. Living there can make you afraid of every new beginning. The goal is not to erase your past. The goal is to stop allowing your past to erase your present. You do not need to forget everything in order to be free. Forgetting is not always possible. Some memories stay. Some scars remain. But a scar is not the same as an open wound. A scar says, I was hurt, but I healed. An open wound says, I am still bleeding. Buddhist practice helps you turn wounds into wisdom. It does not deny your pain. It helps you hold your pain differently. Instead of carrying the past like a heavy stone, you begin to carry it like a lesson. You say, this taught me something. This showed me what I need. This taught me boundaries. This made me more aware. This pain was real, but it will not control my whole life. This is how old pain loses its power. Sometimes old pain is connected to people. Someone you loved disappointed you. Someone you trusted betrayed you. Someone you expected to stay walked away. Someone made you feel unimportant. After that, your mind may keep returning to them, not because they are good for you, but because the wound is still asking for attention. You may keep checking what they are doing. You may keep imagining conversations with them. You may keep wondering if they regret what they did. You may keep hoping they will understand your pain one day. But every time you return to them mentally, you reopen the door. Ask yourself with honesty, is this memory helping me heal, or is it keeping me attached to suffering? If thinking about them only brings confusion, anger, sadness, and self-doubt, then your mind is not healing there. It is bleeding there. You may need to gently close that door, not because you hate them, but because you finally choose peace. Buddhism teaches non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean you never love. It means you do not hold so tightly that love becomes suffering. It means you allow what has passed to pass. It means you stop forcing your heart to live with someone who is no longer walking with you. Some people belong to your past, not your future. This is painful to accept, but it is also peaceful. You can honor the lesson without reopening the wound. You can be grateful for what was good without denying what was painful. You can let someone go and still keep the wisdom they gave you. Old pain can also come from regret. You may keep thinking about the choices you made. You may say, I should have known better. I should have acted differently. I should not have trusted them. I should not have wasted time. Regret can become a sharp voice inside the mind, always blaming you for not being wiser in the past. But you must remember this. The version of you in the past did not know what you know now. That person was acting with the awareness, strength, fear, hope, and understanding they had at that time. Maybe they made mistakes. Maybe they ignored signs. Maybe they stayed too long. Maybe they chose wrong. But they were still trying to survive with the wisdom they had. Do not use today's wisdom to punish yesterday's self. This is important. Growth should make you kinder to your past self, not crueler. If you can now see what you could not see before, that means you have grown. That means the pain taught you something. That means your awareness has increased. So instead of saying, I was stupid, say, I was learning. Instead of saying, I ruined everything, say, I understand more now. This gentle shift can heal many toxic thoughts. Regret becomes useful only when it teaches you. After it teaches you, you must release it. If you keep holding regret after learning the lesson, it becomes punishment. Buddhism does not teach endless punishment. It teaches awakening. Once you awaken, you do not need to keep sleeping inside shame. You can make peace with the past by saying, I cannot change what I did, but I can change how I live now. This brings your power back into the present moment, because the present moment is where healing happens, not yesterday, not in the memory, not in the imaginary conversation, not in the life you wish you had lived. Healing happens now, in the way you breathe, the way you think, the way you choose, and the way you treat yourself today. If you keep giving all your energy to the past, you will have no strength left for the life that is still waiting for you. Your future cannot grow in a mind that is always watering yesterday's pain. Think of your life like a garden. Old pain is like a dead branch. At one time, maybe it was connected to something alive. But now, if you keep holding it, it only takes space. You cannot grow new flowers if your hands are full of dead branches. At some point, you must put down what no longer has life in it. This does not mean the branch never mattered. It means its season is complete. In the same way, some memories had their season, some people had their season, some dreams had their season, some identities had their season. But now life is asking you to continue, not because the past was meaningless, but because your present is still sacred. Your life is not finished because one part of it hurt. When old pain rises, practice mindfulness. Do not run from it, but do not drown in it either. Sit quietly and notice what is happening. Say, a painful memory has appeared. Notice how your body feels. Notice what story the mind is creating. Notice what emotion is present. Then breathe. Do not force the memory away. If you fight it too hard, it may become stronger. Instead, hold it with awareness. Let it be seen. Let it move. Let it pass through you like a cloud passing through the sky. You can say, this pain is here, but I do not need to become it. This memory is here, but I do not need to live inside it. This feeling is here, but it will change. This is how you slowly free yourself. Some days, the past will feel far away. Other days, it may feel close again. Healing is not always straight. You may think you have moved on, and then one word, one song, one place, one smell, or one dream brings the memory back. Do not judge yourself when this happens. It does not mean you failed. It means there is another layer asking for compassion. When old pain returns, do not say, why am I still not over this? Say, something inside me still needs kindness. This response changes everything. It removes shame from healing. It allows the heart to open instead of close. You are not weak because healing takes time. You are human. Some wounds are deep because your love was deep. Some memories hurt because they mattered. Some losses take time because they change the shape of your life. Do not rush your healing just to look strong. Real strength is not pretending you are okay. Real strength is being honest with your pain without letting it control you forever. Buddhism teaches patience. A tree does not heal a broken branch in one day. The body does not heal a deep wound in one moment. The mind also needs time. But time alone is not enough. You must use time with awareness. If you spend years repeating the same painful story, time will pass, but healing may not happen. But if you bring mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom to your pain, even small moments can become healing. So ask yourself, how am I using my time? Am I using it to keep the wound alive, or am I using it to understand and release? This question can wake you up. Many people stay loyal to old pain because it feels familiar. Peace feels unknown. A calm life feels strange. Being free from the past may even feel scary because you do not know who you are without the wound. If pain has been your identity for a long time, healing may feel like losing a part of yourself. But you are not losing yourself. You are returning to yourself. You existed before the pain, and a wiser, deeper, stronger version of you can exist after it. Do not let the wound become your name. Do not introduce yourself to life as the person who was hurt, abandoned, betrayed, or broken. That may be part of your story, but it is not your whole being. Beneath the pain, there is still awareness. Beneath the sadness, there is still breath. Beneath the fear, there is still a quiet place inside you that wants peace. Return to that place. One powerful way to stop living inside old pain is to change the question. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can this teach me? Instead of asking, why did they hurt me? Ask, how can I protect my peace now? Instead of asking, what did I lose? Ask, what wisdom can I carry forward? The question you ask decides where your mind goes. Some questions keep you trapped. Other questions open the door. If you keep asking questions that have no answer, your mind will keep spinning. But if you ask questions that bring you back to growth, your mind begins to move forward. This is not about pretending pain is good. Pain is pain. Some things hurt deeply. Some things should not have happened. Some people should have treated you better. But even when pain is unfair, you can still choose what it becomes inside you. It can become bitterness, or it can become wisdom. It can become fear, or it can become awareness. It can become a prison, or it can become a path. This choice may not happen all at once. But little by little, with mindfulness, it becomes possible. You can also heal old pain by returning to the body. The mind may keep telling stories, but the body brings you back to now. When you feel trapped in a memory, place your feet on the ground. Feel the floor beneath you. Take a deep breath. Look around and name what you see. Remind yourself, I am here. That moment is not happening now. This simple practice helps the nervous system understand that the past is not the present. You are safe in this moment. You are not there anymore. Sometimes the mind needs this reminder again and again. Be patient with it. The mind that suffered needs time to trust peace again. Another way to stop living inside old pain is to create new experiences. Pain takes up more space when your life becomes empty around it. If every day looks the same, the mind has more room to return to old memories. But when you slowly create new routines, new meanings, new learning, new relationships, and new moments of peace, your mind begins to understand that life still exists beyond what happened. Do not wait until you feel completely healed to start living. Sometimes living gently is part of healing. Take a walk, read something wise, sit in sunlight, help someone, learn something new, clean your space, pray or meditate, listen to peaceful words. Make your life a little softer, one day at a time. Each new peaceful moment is proof that the past does not own all of you. The mind needs new evidence. If the past told you life only hurts, create small moments that show life can also hold peace. If the past told you I am not safe, create routines that show I can protect myself now. If the past told you I am not worthy, treat yourself in ways that show I matter. Healing is not only something you think, it is something you practice. Buddhism teaches that every moment is a chance to begin again. This is a beautiful teaching. You do not need a perfect life to begin again. You do not need permission from the people who hurt you. You do not need the past to change. You do not need to become fully fearless. You only need one mindful breath and one honest choice. Begin again by not replaying the same thought today. Begin again by not blaming yourself for what you did not know. Begin again by choosing peace instead of old anger. Begin again by returning to the present moment. Begin again by saying, my past is part of me, but it is not the master of me. This is how freedom begins. There may be days when you still cry. Let yourself cry. Tears are not failure. Tears are the heart releasing what words cannot carry. There may be days when you feel angry again. Observe the anger. Learn from it, but do not let it control your actions. There may be days when you miss someone who was not good for you. Notice the missing, but also remember why distance was needed. Healing is honest. It does not pretend. You can miss someone and still not return. You can feel pain and still choose peace. You can remember the past and still live today. You can carry a scar and still become whole. Wholeness does not mean nothing ever hurt you. Wholeness means the pain no longer controls every part of you. One day, you may remember what happened, but it will not break you the same way. You may think of the person, but your chest will not feel as heavy. You may remember the mistake, but you will not hate yourself. You may look back and say, "That was painful, but it taught me. It changed me, but it did not destroy me." This is the moment old pain becomes wisdom. Until that day comes, be gentle with yourself. Do not make healing another reason to suffer. Do not say, "I should be over this by now." Do not compare your healing to someone else's. Every heart releases pain in its own time. Every mind finds clarity in its own way. Your task is not to rush. Your task is to keep returning to awareness. When the past calls you, breathe before you answer. When regret speaks, answer with compassion. When old fear returns, remind it that you are not in the same place anymore. When a painful memory appears, do not bow to it like a master. See it as a visitor. You can say, "I remember you, but I do not live with you anymore." This sentence is powerful. It honors the memory without giving it control. Old pain may knock on the door of your mind, but you do not have to invite it to stay. You do not have to give it your whole day. You do not have to let it decide your mood, your choices, your relationships, and your future. You are allowed to close the door gently. You are allowed to return to now. You are allowed to live again. The present moment is waiting for you. Your breath is waiting for you. Your peace is waiting for you. Your life is waiting for you. Do not let a moment that already passed take away the moment that is still here. This does not mean you forget. It means you are free. So stop living inside old pain. Take the lesson, but leave the prison. Keep the wisdom, but release the weight. Honor what happened, but do not let it become your whole identity. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still growing. Life is still opening in front of you, even if slowly. And every time you choose the present over the past, you rebuild your mind. Every time you choose awareness over memory, you protect your peace. Every time you choose healing over replaying the wound, you become lighter. Old pain may have shaped you, but it does not have to rule you. Let the past be a teacher, not a home. Let the memory be a lesson, not a chain. Let your heart heal at its own pace, but keep walking forward. Because the life ahead of you deserves more attention than the pain behind you, and your mind becomes clear when you finally stop living where you no longer belong. 10. Choose peace over mental drama. The mind can turn a small moment into a big storm. One word can become a whole argument inside your head. One message that was not answered can become a story of rejection. One mistake can become proof that your life is falling apart. One person's attitude can become an entire night of overthinking. This is how mental drama begins. Most of the suffering we carry is not always created by the situation itself. It is created by the way the mind continues the situation long after it has ended. Someone says something, and their words last for a few seconds, but your mind repeats those words for hours. A problem happens once, but your thoughts turn it into 10 different problems. A person disappoints you, and your mind starts creating imaginary conversations, possible meanings, hidden intentions, and future fears. The event may be small, but the story becomes heavy. Buddhism teaches that the untrained mind loves to cling. It clings to pain. It clings to opinions. It clings to being right. It clings to what people said, what they meant, what they should have done, and what you should have said back. This clinging creates suffering because the mind refuses to let the moment end. Peace begins when you learn to let the moment end. This does not mean you ignore real problems. It does not mean you pretend nothing hurts you. It does not mean you allow people to disrespect you. It means you stop giving your mind permission to turn every situation into a battlefield. There is a difference between solving a problem and creating mental drama. Solving a problem brings clarity. Mental drama brings confusion. Solving a problem asks, "What can I do now?" Mental drama asks, "Why is this always happening to me?" Solving a problem looks for the next right step. Mental drama keeps repeating the wound. Solving a problem gives you power. Mental drama takes your power away. Many people think they are solving their life by overthinking it. They believe that if they keep thinking long enough, they will find peace. But most of the time, overthinking does not create peace. It creates more fear. It does not give answers. It gives more questions. It does not calm the mind. It feeds the storm. You may sit alone and replay a conversation again and again. You think about what they said. Then you think about what you should have said. Then you imagine what they might say next. Then you create another reply in your mind. Then you imagine the argument becoming worse. Soon, you are not living in reality anymore. You are living inside a mental movie created by fear and emotion. The body reacts as if the argument is really happening. Your heart becomes heavy. Your face becomes tense. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your mood changes. But nothing is happening outside. The whole battle is inside. This is why you must learn to choose peace over mental drama. Choosing peace does not mean you never feel hurt. It means you do not turn hurt into a home. Choosing peace does not mean you have no emotions. It means you stop letting every emotion become your master. Choosing peace does not mean you are weak. It means you are strong enough not to follow every thought into suffering. Buddhism teaches mindfulness because mindfulness shows you the difference between what is happening and what the mind is adding. This difference is very important. What is happening may be simple. Someone did not reply. That is the fact. But the mind adds, they do not care about me. They are ignoring me. I am not important. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe everyone leaves me. Now the suffering has grown bigger than the event. What is happening may be simple. One plan failed. That is the fact. But the mind adds, my life is ruined. Nothing works for me. I always fail. I will never become successful. Now one failed plan has become an attack on your whole life. What is happening may be simple. Someone criticized you. That is the fact. But the mind adds, I am worthless. Everyone is judging me. I can never do anything right. Now one comment has become a poison inside your identity. Mindfulness helps you stop and ask, what is the fact and what is the story? This question can save your peace. The fact is usually smaller than the story. The fact may need action. The story usually needs awareness. The fact may require a conversation, a boundary, or a decision. The story may require breathing, observing, and letting go. When you learn to separate fact from story, your mind becomes clear. You stop drowning in things that are not fully real. You stop reacting to thoughts as if they are truth. You stop giving your whole emotional energy to imagined suffering. Mental drama often comes from the desire to control. The mind wants to control what people think. It wants to control what people feel. It wants to control how life unfolds. It wants to control every possible future. But because life cannot be controlled completely, the mind becomes restless. It creates drama because it cannot accept uncertainty. Buddhism teaches that life is uncertain by nature. Everything changes. People change. Plans change. Feelings change. Conditions change. The more you demand certainty from life, the more anxious you become. The more you accept that life is changing, the more peaceful you become. Acceptance does not mean doing nothing. It means seeing reality clearly before you act. It means saying, this is what is happening right now. Let me respond wisely. It does not mean saying, this should not be happening. I hate this. Why is life like this? That second response creates more suffering. Mental drama is often the mind arguing with reality. Reality says, this happened. The mind says, it should not have happened. Reality says, this person acted this way. The mind says, they should have acted differently. Reality says, the result is not what you expected. The mind says, I cannot accept this. The argument may feel natural, but it does not change reality. It only increases suffering. A peaceful mind does not love everything that happens. It simply stops fighting the fact that it has happened. From there, it can choose the next step with wisdom. When you stop fighting reality, you gain energy. That energy can be used for healing, action, learning, boundaries, and growth. But when you waste energy on mental drama, you become tired before you even begin. Think about how many hours of your life have been spent in arguments that never happened. How many nights have been lost to conversations inside your head? How many mornings have been ruined by thoughts from yesterday? How many peaceful moments have been stolen by imaginary problems? The mind is powerful. If you do not guide it, it will create worlds of suffering. This is why you must train it gently. When mental drama begins, notice the first sign. Maybe your thoughts start moving fast. Maybe you begin repeating the same situation. Maybe you start imagining the worst. Maybe you feel the need to prove something. Maybe you feel angry at someone who is not even present. Maybe you start building a whole speech in your mind. The moment you notice this, pause, take a breath. Say to yourself, "My mind is creating drama." Do not say this with judgment. Say it with awareness. You are not bad for having these thoughts. You are human. The mind does this when it feels unsafe, hurt, or uncertain. But now you are bringing awareness to it. Then ask, is this helping me, or is this only making me suffer? This question brings you back to wisdom. If the thought is helping you find a clear solution, continue calmly. But if the thought is only repeating pain, creating fear, or making you angry, then gently step away from it. You can say, "I do not need to continue this story right now." You can say, "I will return to what is real." You can say, "Peace is more important than this mental argument." These words are simple, but they create a new path inside the mind. At first, the mind may resist. It may say, "No, keep thinking, keep proving, keep defending, keep remembering." The mind may make drama feel important. It may tell you that if you stop thinking, you are ignoring the problem. But you must understand the difference between awareness and obsession. Awareness sees clearly. Obsession repeats blindly. Awareness helps you respond. Obsession keeps you trapped. Awareness brings peace. Obsession brings exhaustion. When you choose peace, you are not ignoring life. You are refusing to suffer unnecessarily. Many people become addicted to mental drama because it gives them a false sense of control. If they keep thinking, they feel like they are doing something. If they keep replaying, they feel like they are protecting themselves. If they keep imagining every possible problem, they feel prepared. But peace does not come from imagining every danger. Peace comes from trusting that you can meet life one moment at a time. You do not need to solve your entire future today. You do not need to prepare for every possible pain. You do not need to know what every person thinks about you. You do not need to win every argument inside your head. You only need to return to this moment and choose the wisest action available now. This is where clarity lives. Mental drama also grows when you take everything personally. Someone is quiet, and you think it is about you. Someone is in a bad mood, and you think you caused it. Someone chooses a different path, and you think you were not enough. Someone disagrees with you, and you think they are attacking your worth. But not everything is about you. People carry their own pain, their own confusion, their own habits, their own fears, and their own inner battles. Sometimes their behavior is about them, not you. Sometimes their silence is their struggle. Sometimes their distance is their limitation. Sometimes their anger is their own unhealed wound. When you make everything personal, your mind becomes full of unnecessary suffering. You start carrying things that do not belong to you. Buddhism teaches us to see with wisdom. Instead of immediately saying, "This is about me," pause and say, "This may be about their own mind." This does not excuse harmful behavior, but it protects you from absorbing everything as personal rejection. You can still set boundaries. You can still choose distance. You can still speak the truth, but you do not need to turn every person's behavior into proof against your worth. That is mental freedom. Another form of mental drama is the need to be right. The ego loves being right. It wants to win. It wants to prove. It wants to have the final word. It wants others to admit they were wrong. But many times, the price of being right is your peace. Ask yourself, do I want peace, or do I want to win this argument inside my head? Sometimes you can be right and still be miserable. You can have perfect reasons, perfect explanations, and perfect proof, but still lose your inner calm. This does not mean truth does not matter. Truth matters. But not every situation needs your mental energy forever. There are moments when you must speak. There are moments when you must stand up. There are moments when silence would become self-betrayal. But there are also moments when continuing the fight only keeps you tied to suffering. Wisdom is knowing the difference. A peaceful person does not need to prove everything to everyone. A peaceful person knows that some people will misunderstand you, no matter how clearly you explain. Some people will judge you from their own limited view. Some people will twist your words. Some people will refuse to see your heart. If you try to correct every misunderstanding, your mind will never rest. Sometimes peace means allowing people to think what they want, while you stay rooted in what you know is true. Sometimes peace means walking away from people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes peace means choosing silence, not because you have nothing to say, but because your energy is too valuable to waste. This is not weakness. This is maturity. Mental drama often asks for an audience. It wants you to gather support, repeat the story, and keep the wound alive through conversation. You tell one person, then another, then another. Each time you tell the story, the emotions rise again. Sometimes sharing pain is healing, but repeating pain without awareness can also strengthen suffering. Before you repeat a story, ask yourself, am I sharing this to heal, or am I sharing this to feed the drama? There is a difference. Healing conversations bring clarity, responsibility, and peace. Drama conversations bring more anger, more judgment, and more confusion. Healing helps you release. Drama helps you repeat. Choose carefully. Your words can clean your mind, or they can make it more toxic. This is why Buddhism teaches right speech. Right speech is not only about avoiding lies or harsh words. It is also about speaking in a way that reduces suffering. Before speaking, ask, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is this the right time? These questions protect your mind and your relationships. If you speak only to release poison, you may feel relief for a moment, but you may create more suffering later. If you speak from clarity, your words become medicine. They may still be firm, they may still create boundaries, but they will not be driven by blind anger. Choosing peace over mental drama does not mean becoming passive, it means becoming intentional. You choose when to speak, you choose when to stay silent, you choose when to act, you choose when to let go. You choose what deserves your attention, you choose what does not. This is true inner power. When the mind is full of drama, everything feels urgent. You feel like you must respond now. You must fix it now. You must explain now. You must decide now. But many things do not need immediate reaction. Many things become clearer after one calm breath. Many situations look different after one night of rest. Many words do not need to be sent while emotions are burning. Give yourself space. A simple pause can prevent many regrets. Before replying to a painful message, breathe. Before entering an argument, breathe. Before making a decision from anger, breathe. Before believing a fearful thought, breathe. The breath brings you back to the present moment. It reminds you that you do not have to obey every emotional impulse. In Buddhism, the breath is a doorway to clarity. It is always here. It is simple. It is quiet. It does not argue. It does not judge. It simply brings you back. When mental drama rises, Return to the breath. Breathe in and notice the storm. Breathe out and release the need to follow it. Breathe in and return to the body. Breathe out and soften the mind. You may need to do this many times. That is okay. Each return is practice. Each pause is strength. Each moment of awareness weakens the habit of drama. Over time, you will notice a change. Situations that once controlled you will no longer control you as easily. Words that once ruined your day will lose their power. Thoughts that once dragged you into suffering will become easier to observe. You will still feel emotions, but you will not be swallowed by them. This is mental clarity. You begin to understand that peace is a choice you must make again and again, not one time, not only when life is easy, but in small moments every day. Choose peace when your mind wants to replay the past. Choose peace when your ego wants to win. Choose peace when fear wants to imagine the worst. Choose peace when someone's behavior tries to pull you into chaos. Choose peace when old anger asks for another argument. Choose peace when your thoughts become loud and dramatic. Choosing peace does not mean life becomes perfect. It means you stop adding unnecessary suffering to imperfect life. There will still be difficult people. There will still be delays. There will still be misunderstandings. There will still be pain. But when your mind becomes trained, you do not turn every difficulty into a disaster. You do not turn every discomfort into a crisis. You do not turn every emotion into a command. You learn to sit in the middle of life without losing yourself. This is the quiet strength Buddhism teaches. A clear mind is not a mind with no thoughts. It is a mind that knows which thoughts to follow and which thoughts to let pass. A peaceful heart is not a heart that never feels pain. It is a heart that does not turn every pain into poison. Mental drama says, think more, react more, prove more, fear more. Wisdom says, pause, breathe, see clearly, respond gently. The more you listen to wisdom, the quieter the drama becomes. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is not answer the thought, not answer the argument, not answer the fear, not answer the memory. Just sit still and let it pass. Let the mind throw its storm without giving it your whole life. You do not have to attend every drama your mind invites you to. You do not have to sit in every courtroom your thoughts create. You do not have to defend yourself against every imaginary accusation. You do not have to keep explaining your worth to voices inside your head. You can step out. You can return to silence. You can choose peace. And when you choose peace, something beautiful happens. Your energy returns. Your body softens. Your breathing becomes deeper. Your heart feels lighter. You begin to see the situation more clearly. You begin to understand what truly matters and what only looked important because your mind was disturbed. Peace gives you vision. Drama gives you fog. When you are peaceful, you can make better choices. You can speak with more dignity. You can protect your boundaries without hatred. You can leave situations without creating more pain. You can care without clinging. You can love without losing yourself. You can act without being controlled by fear. This is why peace is not weakness. Peace is intelligence. Peace is strength. Peace is discipline. Peace is the ability to remain awake when the mind wants to sleep inside suffering. You protect your mind from toxic thoughts by refusing to make drama your home. So the next time your mind begins to create a storm, pause and ask, do I want to suffer from this thought, or do I want to be free? Ask, is this thought bringing clarity, or is it only creating noise? Ask, what would peace choose in this moment? Then listen quietly. Peace may tell you to speak. Peace may tell you to wait. Peace may tell you to leave. Peace may tell you to forgive. Peace may tell you to rest. Peace may tell you to stop thinking about it for now. Peace may tell you that not every problem needs to be solved tonight. Trust that quiet wisdom. Your life does not become lighter because every person changes. Your life becomes lighter when your relationship with your own mind changes. When you stop following every dramatic thought, your inner world becomes less crowded. When you stop feeding every fear, your heart becomes less heavy. When you stop fighting imaginary battles, your energy returns to your real life. And real life is happening now. Not in the argument you keep replaying, not in the future disaster you keep imagining, not in the opinion someone may or may not have about you, not in the story your fear keeps repeating. Life is here, in this breath, in this moment, in this small space where you can choose again. Choose peace, choose clarity, choose silence when silence protects you, choose action when action is needed, choose boundaries when boundaries bring safety, choose compassion when anger wants to harden you. Choose the present moment when the mind tries to drag you into old drama. This is how you rebuild mental clarity. You do not rebuild it by controlling every thought. You rebuild it by no longer becoming a servant of every thought. You let the noisy ones pass. You listen to the wise ones. You return to what is real. Mental drama will come. The mind will still create stories. The ego will still want to win. Fear will still try to protect you through overthinking. But you do not have to follow every invitation. You can smile gently at the mind and say, "Not today. Today, I choose peace." And with every peaceful choice, the mind becomes cleaner, the heart becomes calmer, the soul becomes lighter. You begin to live less inside imagined battles and more inside real life. That is freedom, not because the world becomes silent, but because you stop giving every noise a home inside you. Not because people become perfect, but because you stop letting their imperfections destroy your peace. Not because life becomes fully controlled, but because you finally stop needing to control everything before you allow yourself to breathe. Choose peace over mental drama, again and again. This is not a small lesson. This is a way of life. Because the mind that chooses peace becomes a safe place to live. And when your mind becomes a safe place, the whole world feels less heavy. 11. Rebuild your mind with right thoughts. Letting go of toxic thoughts is important, but it is not enough. If you remove negative thoughts, but do not replace them with wiser thoughts, the mind will return to its old habits. An empty mind does not stay empty for long. If you do not plant peace, fear may grow again. If you do not plant wisdom, confusion may return. If you do not plant compassion, anger may come back and take the same space. This is why you must not only clean your mind, you must also rebuild your mind. Buddhism teaches that the mind is shaped by what it repeatedly practices. A thought that is repeated many times becomes a habit. A habit that is repeated many times becomes part of your character, and your character slowly shapes the way you experience life. If you repeat fear every day, your mind becomes fearful. If you repeat anger every day, your mind becomes angry. If you repeat regret every day, your mind becomes trapped in the past. If you repeat comparison every day, your mind becomes restless and unhappy. But if you repeat patience, patience becomes stronger. If you repeat gratitude, gratitude becomes easier. If you repeat compassion, compassion becomes natural. If you repeat awareness, awareness becomes your new way of living. Your mind becomes what you practice. This is why right thoughts are so powerful. Right thoughts are not fake positive thoughts. They are not lies you tell yourself. They are not empty words that pretend life has no pain. Right thoughts are thoughts that guide your mind toward clarity, peace, truth, and wisdom. A toxic thought says, "My life will never get better." A right thought says, "This moment is difficult, but life can still change." A toxic thought says, "I am a failure." A right thought says, "I made a mistake, but I can learn and grow." A toxic thought says, "Nobody cares about me." A right thought says, "I feel lonely right now, but this feeling is not the full truth of my life." A toxic thought says, "I must control everything." A right thought says, "I will do my part, and I will release what is not in my hands." Right thoughts do not deny pain, they give pain a wiser direction. Many people think they cannot control their thoughts at all. They believe that whatever the mind says must be accepted. But Buddhism teaches that while you may not control every thought that appears, you can train the mind in how to respond. You may not stop the first thought, but you can choose the next one. You may not stop fear from knocking, but you do not have to invite it to sit inside your heart all day. This is where practice begins. When a toxic thought appears, do not panic. Do not hate yourself for having it. Do not say, "Why am I thinking like this?" Simply notice it. See it clearly. Then gently guide the mind toward a better thought. This is like training a child. If a child runs toward danger, you do not hate the child. You guide the child back. In the same way, when your mind runs toward fear, regret, anger, or self-hatred, do not attack it. Guide it back with patience. Say, "This thought is not helping me. Let me return to wisdom." This simple sentence can become a doorway. Rebuilding the mind takes time because old thoughts may have been living there for years. Maybe you have been telling yourself you are not enough for a long time. Maybe you have been expecting the worst for many years. Maybe you learned to criticize yourself because other people criticized you. Maybe you learned to fear happiness because life disappointed you before. So when you begin thinking in a new way, the old mind may resist. It may say, "This is not true." It may say, "You cannot change." It may say, "Do not trust peace." This resistance does not mean you are failing. It only means the old pattern is still strong. But every time you choose a right thought, you weaken the old pattern. Think of the mind like a path through a forest. If you walk the same path every day, it becomes easy to follow. The grass disappears. The road becomes clear. You can walk it without thinking. This is how old thoughts work. If you have walked the path of fear for many years, fear becomes easy. If you have walked the path of anger for many years, anger becomes easy. If you have walked the path of self-doubt for many years, self-doubt becomes easy. A new path feels difficult at first because it has not been walked enough. Peace may feel unfamiliar. Self-compassion may feel strange. Trust may feel uncomfortable. Letting go may feel unsafe. But if you keep walking the new path, it becomes clearer. The more you return to right thoughts, the more natural they become. One day, the mind that used to run toward panic will begin to pause. The mind that used to insult you will begin to speak more gently. The mind that used to hold anger will begin to release faster. This is not magic. This is training. Buddhism is a path of training the mind. It does not teach you to wait for peace to arrive by accident. It teaches you to create the conditions for peace. Just as a farmer plants seeds, waters them, protects them, and waits with patience, you must plant right thoughts and care for them daily. You cannot plant seeds of fear and expect flowers of peace. You cannot water resentment and expect compassion to grow. You cannot feed self-hate and expect confidence to bloom. The harvest depends on the seeds. So ask yourself, what seeds am I planting in my mind every day? When you wake up in the morning, what is the first seed you plant? Is it worry? Is it comparison? Is it checking the world before checking your own heart? Is it thinking about what is missing? Is it remembering who hurt you? Is it fearing what may go wrong? Or do you plant awareness? Do you plant gratitude? Do you plant patience? Do you plant one peaceful thought before the noise of the world enters your mind? The morning is powerful because the mind is fresh. If you begin the day with toxic thoughts, the whole day may feel heavy. But if you begin with one right thought, you give the mind a direction. You can say, "Today, I will protect my peace." You can say, "Today, I will not believe every fear." You can say, "Today, I will breathe before I react." You can say, "Today, I will let go of what is not mine to carry." You can say, "Today, I will speak to myself with kindness." These thoughts are simple, but they are strong. They are like lamps placed inside a dark room. One lamp does not remove the entire darkness forever, but it changes what you can see. In the same way, one right thought may not solve your whole life, but it can change the direction of your mind, and direction matters. A mind without direction becomes easily pulled by the world. One comment pulls it into anger. One memory pulls it into sadness. One problem pulls it into panic. One comparison pulls it into self-doubt. But a mind trained in right thoughts becomes steadier. It still feels emotions, but it does not become a slave to them. This is mental clarity. Rebuilding your mind also means becoming careful with the thoughts you keep repeating about yourself. Many people repeat harmful identities without realizing it. They say, "I am always unlucky. I am too broken. I am not smart enough. I am not strong enough. I am difficult to love. I always ruin good things." These are not just words. These are seeds. If you keep planting them, they shape the way you see yourself and the way you live. Buddhism teaches us to see the self with awareness. Many of the identities we carry are not our true nature. They are stories created by experience, fear, pain, and conditioning. Maybe someone made you feel small, and now you call yourself small. Maybe someone abandoned you, and now you call yourself unlovable. Maybe you failed once, and now you call yourself a failure. But these are not ultimate truths. They are mental formations. They arose from causes and conditions, and because they arose, they can also pass away. This is a beautiful truth. You are not permanently trapped inside the story your mind created. You can question it. You can soften it. You can replace it with something wiser. Instead of saying, "I am broken," say, "I am healing." Instead of saying, "I am weak," say, "I am learning strength." Instead of saying, "I always fail," say, "I am still growing through experience." Instead of saying, "I am not enough," say, "I am enough to begin, and I can still improve." This is not pretending. This is choosing a thought that helps you move forward instead of keeping you trapped. Right thoughts should be truthful and useful. If a thought is positive but not believable, the mind may reject it. So begin with thoughts that feel honest. You do not need to say, "Everything is perfect," when it is not. Say, "Everything is not perfect, but I can take one peaceful step." You do not need to say, "I have no fear," when fear is present. Say, "Fear is here, but I can breathe through it." You do not need to say, "I am completely healed," when you still feel pain. Say, "I am healing, little by little." These thoughts are grounded. They do not fight reality. They walk with reality wisely. That is the Buddhist way. Right thoughts are also connected to right intention. Before you act, speak, or react, look at the intention behind it. Is your intention coming from anger or wisdom? Is it coming from fear or clarity? Is it coming from ego or compassion? Is it coming from the desire to punish or the desire to protect peace? The intention behind your thoughts matters because intention becomes action. If your thoughts are full of revenge, your words may become harsh. If your thoughts are full of fear, your choices may become small. If your thoughts are full of jealousy, your heart may become bitter. If your thoughts are full of compassion, your actions become softer and wiser. This does not mean you must have perfect thoughts all the time. No one does. But you must become aware of the direction your thoughts are taking you. Every thought is like a small step. One thought may not seem important, but many thoughts in the same direction create a path. If you keep stepping toward fear, you reach anxiety. If you keep stepping toward anger, you reach resentment. If you keep stepping toward wisdom, you reach clarity. So throughout the day, pause and ask, where is this thought taking me? If the thought is taking you toward suffering, do not keep following it blindly. Stop. Breathe. Choose again. This ability to choose again is one of the greatest freedoms you have. You can choose again after a bad morning. You can choose again after an argument. You can choose again after a mistake. You can choose again after a painful memory appears. You can choose again even after spending hours in toxic thinking. The moment you become aware, the path can change. Do not think the day is ruined because your mind was toxic for a while. Awareness can begin at any moment. Peace can begin in one breath. Clarity can return when you stop and say, I do not want to feed this thought anymore. This is why Buddhism gives so much importance to mindfulness. Mindfulness brings you back to choice. Without mindfulness, the mind runs on habit. With mindfulness, you can see the habit and choose a different response. For example, if someone criticizes you, the old habit may say, I am worthless. Mindfulness notices this and says, a painful thought has appeared. Then, a right thought can enter. One person's criticism is not my whole identity. If someone leaves your life, the old habit may say, I am not lovable. Mindfulness notices this and says, this is the wound speaking. Then a right thought can enter. Someone leaving does not decide my worth. If you make a mistake, the old habit may say, I always ruin everything. Mindfulness notices this and says, this is shame speaking. Then a right thought can enter. I can take responsibility without hating myself. This is how the mind is rebuilt, moment by moment. You must also understand that right thoughts are not only about yourself. They are also about how you see others. A toxic mind often creates thoughts of judgment, jealousy, resentment, and comparison. It looks at others and says, they are better than me, or they do not deserve what they have, or they hurt me, so I hope they suffer. These thoughts may feel natural when you are in pain, but they do not bring peace. Buddhism teaches compassion because compassion cleans the mind. When you look at others with compassion, you do not become blind to their actions. You simply understand that everyone is living with causes, conditions, wounds, fears, and ignorance. Everyone is trying to escape suffering in their own way, even if they sometimes do it wrongly. This understanding softens the heart. Instead of thinking, I hate them, you may think, they are acting from their own confusion. Instead of thinking, why is their life better than mine? You may think, may I focus on my own path? Instead of thinking, they must suffer for what they did, you may think, may I be free from carrying this hatred? These thoughts do not make you weak. They make your mind less toxic. They prevent other people's behavior from poisoning your inner world. You can still keep boundaries. You can still walk away. You can still protect yourself. But you do not need to live with hatred in your chest. Right thoughts create freedom. Another powerful right thought is gratitude. Gratitude does not mean ignoring pain. It means training the mind to also notice what is still good. A toxic mind focuses only on what is missing, what is wrong, what is unfair, and what is painful. It forgets that even in difficult seasons, there may still be small blessings. A breath, a meal, a quiet moment, a lesson learned, a person who cares, a chance to begin again, the strength to continue, the wisdom gained from pain. Gratitude brings balance to the mind. Without gratitude, the mind becomes blind to what remains. It only sees what was lost. But with gratitude, the mind begins to say, yes, something hurts, but not everything is destroyed. Yes, life is difficult, but there is still something to hold with appreciation. This does not erase suffering. It prevents suffering from becoming the only thing you see. Each day, place one grateful thought inside your mind. It does not have to be big. Say, I am grateful for this breath. Say, I am grateful I survived today. Say, I am grateful I can still learn. Say, I am grateful for one small moment of peace. Gratitude is a quiet medicine. The mind also needs thoughts of patience. Many toxic thoughts come from impatience. You want healing now. You want success now. You want answers now. You want people to change now. You want your life to make sense now. But life unfolds slowly. Healing unfolds slowly. Wisdom unfolds slowly. When things do not happen quickly, the mind may say, nothing is working. But a right thought says, Growth is still happening, even if I cannot see it yet. Think of a seed under the ground. For a long time, you may see nothing. But beneath the surface, something is happening. Roots are forming. Life is preparing. If you dig up the seed every day to check if it is growing, you may destroy it. In the same way, if you keep judging your healing every day, you may make yourself suffer more. Be patient with your mind. Be patient with your path. Be patient with the parts of you that are still learning. Say, I do not need to become peaceful overnight. I only need to practice today. This thought brings relief. Right thoughts also help you stop living by reaction. When life hurts you, the first thought may be reactive. It may be angry, fearful, or defensive. But you can place a wiser thought after it. The first thought may be, I want to shout. The right thought says, let me breathe first. The first thought may be, I want to give up. The right thought says, let me rest before I decide. The first thought may be, I hate this person. The right thought says, let me protect my peace without carrying hatred. This is not suppression, it is guidance. You are not denying that a reaction appeared. You are choosing not to let that reaction drive your life. There is a beautiful strength in being able to pause and choose a thought that protects your future. Many regrets come from acting on the first thought. Many peaceful outcomes come from waiting for the right thought. So do not trust every first reaction. Let the mind settle. Let wisdom speak. Rebuilding the mind with right thoughts also means remembering impermanence. When suffering comes, the toxic thought says, this will never end. But the right thought says, this too will change. When joy comes, the right thought says, let me appreciate this while it is here. When fear comes, the right thought says, this feeling is moving through me. It is not permanent. Impermanence is not only a teaching about loss, it is also a teaching about hope. Because everything changes, your pain can change. Because everything changes, your mind can change. Because everything changes, a dark season can become a lighter one. When you remember impermanence, you stop treating temporary feelings like permanent truth. This is important for mental clarity. A feeling may be strong, but it is still changing. A thought may be loud, but it is still passing. A problem may be real, but it is still part of a changing life. Say to yourself, this is here now, but it will not stay forever. This thought creates space. Another right thought is responsibility. A toxic mind often moves between blame and helplessness. It says, everything is their fault, or it says, there is nothing I can do. But right thought says, what part is mine? What can I learn? What step can I take? Responsibility is not self-blame. Responsibility is power. It brings your attention back to what you can actually do. Maybe you cannot change another person, but you can change your boundary. Maybe you cannot change the past, but you can change the meaning you give it. Maybe you cannot control every outcome, but you can control your effort. Maybe you cannot stop every toxic thought, but you can stop feeding it. This kind of thinking rebuilds strength. A helpless thought makes you small. A responsible thought brings you back to your path. Buddhism teaches right effort. Right effort means you use your energy wisely. You do not waste it fighting what cannot be changed. You use it to prevent unwholesome states, release harmful states, cultivate wholesome states, and protect wholesome states once they arise. This is very practical. Prevent toxic thoughts by being careful with what you consume. Release toxic thoughts by noticing them and letting them pass. Cultivate right thoughts by practicing gratitude, compassion, patience, and wisdom. Protect right thoughts by returning to them daily. This is how you become the guardian of your own mind. You cannot leave your mind open and expect peace to stay. You must guard it with awareness, not with fear, but with care. Just as you would not allow anyone to throw garbage into your home, do not allow every thought, every opinion, every memory, and every fear to throw garbage into your mind. Your mind is your home. Right thoughts make that home clean, bright, and peaceful. This does not mean you will never have dark thoughts again. You will. You are human. Sometimes pain will speak. Sometimes fear will rise. Sometimes anger will return. Sometimes the past will knock on the door. But when your mind is trained, you will know what to do. You will not panic. You will not believe everything. You will not fall into every old pattern. You will breathe. You will observe. You will choose again. And with each choice, the mind becomes stronger. Rebuilding your mind is not one big moment. It is not one meditation. It is not one lesson. It is a daily practice. It is the thought you choose when you wake up. It is the thought you choose when someone hurts you. It is the thought you choose when fear appears. It is the thought you choose when you fail. It is the thought you choose before sleep. Little by little, these choices become your inner life. One day, you will notice that the same situation does not disturb you as much. The same words do not break you as deeply. The same memory does not pull you back as strongly. The same fear does not control you as quickly. This is how you know the mind is changing. The old path is becoming weaker. The new path is becoming stronger. So be patient. Keep planting. Keep practicing. Keep returning. When toxic thoughts come, do not say, "I am back to zero." You are not back to zero. Every moment of awareness matters. Every peaceful thought matters. Every time you choose wisdom instead of poison, you are rebuilding your mind. You are teaching the mind a new way to live. And slowly, the mind begins to trust peace. It begins to believe that not every problem requires panic. Not every mistake requires shame. Not every memory requires suffering. Not every person's opinion requires reaction. Not every fear requires obedience. This is freedom. The mind that was once full of toxic thoughts becomes a mind that knows how to return to clarity. It may still become cloudy sometimes, but it does not forget the sky. It may still become noisy sometimes, but it knows the way back to silence. It may still feel pain sometimes, but it no longer turns every pain into identity. This is the power of right thoughts. They do not make life perfect. They make your relationship with life wiser. They do not remove every storm. They teach you how to stand in the storm without becoming it. They do not promise that nothing will hurt. They remind you that you can meet hurt with awareness, compassion, and strength. So rebuild your mind with right thoughts. Feed it wisdom. Feed it patience. Feed it gratitude. Feed it compassion. Feed it truth. Feed it silence. Feed it thoughts that help you become clear, not thoughts that pull you deeper into darkness. Do this every day, even when it feels small, especially when it feels small. Because a peaceful mind is not built by one big thought. It is built by many small right thoughts, repeated with love and awareness. Each right thought is a seed. Each mindful breath is water. Each peaceful choice is sunlight. And one day, the garden of your mind will no longer be ruled by weeds. It will grow clarity. It will grow strength. It will grow compassion. It will grow peace. That is how you protect your mind from toxic thoughts. That is how you rebuild mental clarity. You stop feeding what destroys you, and you start feeding what heals you. You stop giving your energy to thoughts that make you suffer, and you begin giving your energy to thoughts that help you awaken. Because the mind can become a prison, but it can also become a temple. And with right thoughts, right awareness, and right practice, you can turn your mind into a place where peace can finally live. 12. Protect your mind like a sacred place. Your mind is not just a place where thoughts appear. Your mind is the home where your whole life is experienced. Everything you see, everything you feel, everything you remember, everything you fear, and everything you hope for passes through the mind. If the mind is peaceful, even a simple life can feel meaningful. But if the mind is filled with poison, even a good life can feel heavy. This is why you must protect your mind like a sacred place. You protect your phone with a password. You protect your house with a door. You protect your money with care. You protect your body when it is sick. But many people do not protect their mind. They allow every negative word to enter. They allow every painful memory to stay. They allow every fear to grow. They allow every person's opinion to disturb them. They allow the noise of the world to live inside them rent-free. Then, they wonder why they feel tired, confused, and mentally weak. Buddhism teaches that the mind is the beginning of everything. Before you speak, there is a thought. Before you act, there is an intention. Before you react, there is a mental movement. If the mind is unprotected, your words, choices, emotions, and life direction can become controlled by confusion. A protected mind does not mean a closed mind. It does not mean you avoid life. It does not mean you become cold or disconnected. It means you become wise about what you allow inside. It means you understand that not everything deserves your attention, not every thought deserves belief, and not every person deserves access to your inner peace. Your attention is valuable. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. If your attention goes to fear all day, fear becomes stronger. If your attention goes to anger all day, anger becomes stronger. If your attention goes to comparison all day, dissatisfaction becomes stronger. If your attention goes to peace, wisdom, gratitude, and awareness, those things also become stronger. This is why protecting your mind begins with protecting your attention. Every day, many things will ask for your attention. Problems will ask for it. People will ask for it. Memories will ask for it. Social media will ask for it. Worry will ask for it. Anger will ask for it. The future will ask for it. The past will ask for it. But you must remember that attention is not something to throw everywhere. Attention is life energy. When you give your attention to something again and again, you are feeding it with your life. So ask yourself, what am I feeding with my attention? Are you feeding peace, or are you feeding poison? Are you feeding healing, or are you feeding old pain? Are you feeding clarity, or are you feeding confusion? Are you feeding the life you want, or are you feeding the thoughts that destroy you? These questions are simple, but they can change the direction of your mind. A toxic thought cannot become strong unless you keep returning to it. A painful memory cannot control your whole day unless you keep replaying it. A person's harsh words cannot live inside you forever unless you keep giving them space. This does not mean pain is not real. Pain can be real, but suffering becomes deeper when the mind keeps feeding the pain again and again. Protecting your mind means learning when to stop feeding what hurts you. Sometimes the mind will say, think about this again. But wisdom will say, this thought has already hurt me enough. Sometimes the mind will say, replay that argument. But wisdom will say, I do not need to enter that fire again. Sometimes the mind will say, imagine the worst. But wisdom will say, I will deal with life one moment at a time. Sometimes the mind will say, hold on to anger. But wisdom will say, my peace is more important than this burning coal. This is how you protect your mind, not by force, but by choosing wisely. Buddhism teaches mindfulness because mindfulness is the guard at the gate of the mind. Without mindfulness, anything can enter. Fear enters, anger enters, jealousy enters, regret enters, negative people enter, old pain enters. But with mindfulness, you begin to notice what is trying to come in. You can say, this thought is not useful. You can say, this emotion needs care, not control. You can say, this memory is here, but I do not need to live inside it. You can say, this person's words are not the truth of my life. This awareness creates protection. Most people suffer because they believe every thought that appears. If the mind says, you are not enough, they believe it. If the mind says, you will fail, they believe it. If the mind says, nobody cares, they believe it. If the mind says, your life is ruined, they believe it. But a protected mind does not believe everything. A protected mind observes. It pauses. It asks, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this coming from wisdom or fear? That pause is powerful. Between the thought and your belief, there is a small space. In that space, you can choose freedom. You can choose not to follow the toxic story. You can choose not to make one thought your whole reality. You can choose not to let fear become your guide. This small space is where mental clarity begins. Protecting your mind also means protecting your peace from unnecessary noise. The world is loud. People are loud. Opinions are loud. Problems are loud. Your phone is loud. The mind becomes tired when it never receives silence. Silence is not empty. Silence is healing. In silence, the mind begins to settle. In silence, you can hear your real feelings. In silence, you can see which thoughts belong to you and which thoughts you picked up from the world. In silence, the heart can breathe. Many people are afraid of silence because silence reveals what they have been avoiding. But if you never sit with yourself, you will never truly understand yourself. You will only keep reacting, distracting, and escaping. A protected mind needs moments of silence every day. Even a few minutes can help. Sit quietly. Breathe slowly. Let the mind become still. Do not try to solve your whole life. Do not try to become perfect. Just return to yourself. This simple practice tells your mind, you are safe. You can rest. You do not need to run all the time. The mind that rests becomes clearer. The mind that never rests becomes toxic. You must also protect your mind from comparison. Comparison is a quiet poison. It enters through the eyes and settles inside the heart. You look at someone else's life, and suddenly your own life feels small. You look at someone else's success, and suddenly your own effort feels worthless. You look at someone else's happiness, and suddenly your own journey feels empty. But you do not know their whole story. You only see a small piece. You see the result, not the struggle. You see the smile, not the suffering. You see the outside, not the hidden battles. Buddhism teaches that everyone walks their own path. Everyone has their own causes, conditions, karma, lessons, and timing. When you compare your path to someone else's path, you lose respect for your own journey. Protect your mind by returning to your own path. Say, their life is theirs, my life is mine. Say, I can appreciate others without insulting myself. Say, I do not need to bloom at the same time as everyone else. These thoughts protect your peace. They bring your energy back from comparison into growth. Protecting your mind also means being careful with your inner conversations. Many people live with a constant argument inside their head. They argue with people who are not there. They defend themselves against imaginary judgments. They punish themselves for past mistakes. They create future problems and then suffer from them today. This is not thinking. This is mental noise. When you notice your mind entering these conversations, gently stop. Ask, is this conversation helping me? If it is not helping, let it go. You do not need to attend every argument your mind creates. You do not need to answer every fear. You do not need to defend yourself against every imagined opinion. Some thoughts do not need your response. They need your silence. A protected mind knows when to speak and when to stay quiet. It knows when to think and when to rest. It knows when to solve and when to surrender. It knows when to hold and when to release. This wisdom is built through practice. You must also protect your mind from old pain. Old pain will sometimes come back. A memory may appear. A feeling may return. A wound may speak again. When this happens, do not panic. Do not think you have failed. Healing is not about never remembering. Healing is about remembering without becoming trapped again. When old pain appears, say, I see you, but I do not live there anymore. This sentence is powerful. It honors the pain without giving it control. It reminds the mind that the past is not the present. It brings you back to now. The past may have shaped you, but it does not have to rule you. What happened before may have taught you, but it does not have to define you. A painful chapter may be part of your story, but it is not the whole book. Protect your mind by refusing to let yesterday steal today. You must also protect your mind from the need to control everything. The more you try to control life, the more life feels frightening. You try to control people, outcomes, timing, opinions, feelings, and the future. But life is too vast to be held tightly in your hands. Buddhism teaches that peace comes when we stop clinging. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop forcing. You do your part with honesty, patience, and effort. Then you release what is not in your control. A protected mind understands this truth. I am responsible for my actions, but I am not responsible for controlling everything. This thought brings relief. You can control your effort, but not every result. You can control your honesty, but not how everyone receives it. You can control your response, but not other people's behavior. You can control your present action, but not the entire future. When you stop carrying what does not belong to you, your mind becomes lighter. Protecting your mind also means choosing your environment carefully. The people around you matter. The conversations you join matter. The content you consume matters. The places you spend time in matter. The energy you allow into your life matters. If you sit every day in negativity, your mind will absorb negativity. If you listen every day to complaints, gossip, anger, and fear, your inner world will begin to reflect that. If you surround yourself with people who mock your peace, disrespect your boundaries, and feed your insecurity, your mind will struggle to stay clear. This is not weakness. This is awareness. A flower cannot grow well in poisoned soil. A peaceful mind cannot grow well in constant toxicity. So choose carefully. Spend more time around words that heal you. Spend more time around people who respect your peace. Spend more time in places that help your mind breathe. Listen to teachings that bring wisdom. Read things that make your thoughts cleaner. Create an environment that supports the person you are trying to become. And when you cannot leave a negative environment immediately, protect your mind from within. Do not absorb everything. Do not react to everything. Do not take every word personally. Let some things pass through you, like wind through trees. You can hear negativity without becoming negative. You can be near chaos without giving chaos a home inside your heart. This takes practice, but it is possible. A protected mind does not mean nothing touches you. It means not everything controls you. This is important. You will still feel pain. You will still feel sadness. You will still feel anger sometimes. You will still have difficult thoughts. Protection does not mean you become emotionless. It means you become aware enough to guide your emotions instead of being dragged by them. When sadness comes, hold it with compassion. When anger comes, listen to it without becoming its servant. When fear comes, understand it without giving it the steering wheel. When regret comes, learn from it without living in shame. When toxic thoughts come, observe them without making them your identity. This is how the mind becomes mature. A mature mind does not believe peace means having no storms. It knows peace means learning how to return after the storm. It knows that clarity is not the absence of thoughts, but the ability to see thoughts clearly. It knows that healing is not never feeling pain again, but no longer letting pain rule your entire life. Protecting your mind is a daily practice, not a one-time decision. You cannot protect your mind once and then forget about it. Every day, the world will bring new noise. Every day, the mind may create new stories. Every day, old habits may try to return. So every day, you must return to awareness. In the morning, protect your mind before the world enters it. Do not begin the day by giving your mind to fear, comparison, or noise. Begin with one breath. Begin with one peaceful thought. Begin with one moment of gratitude. Say, today, I will protect my mind. Say, today, I will not believe every toxic thought. Say, Today, I will return to peace when my mind becomes heavy. This morning intention becomes a shield. During the day, protect your mind by checking in with yourself. Ask, what am I carrying right now? Maybe you are carrying tension. Maybe you are carrying someone's words. Maybe you are carrying fear. Maybe you are carrying a story that is not true. Notice it. Breathe. Release what you can. At night, protect your mind by not taking every worry to sleep. The night is not the time to fight every battle. Before you sleep, say, this day is complete. I release what I cannot solve tonight. I allow my mind to rest. A rested mind is easier to protect. A tired mind believes toxic thoughts more quickly. This is why rest is also spiritual. Rest is not laziness. Rest is care. A tired mind becomes reactive. A rested mind becomes clearer. A tired mind exaggerates problems. A rested mind sees things with more balance. So protect your sleep. Protect your silence. Protect your energy. Protect your attention. These are not small things. They are the foundation of a peaceful mind. You must also protect your mind by practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness does not always mean returning to people. It does not mean trusting them again. It does not mean saying what happened was okay. It means you stop allowing hatred to own your heart. Hatred is heavy. Resentment is heavy. The desire to keep proving your pain is heavy. You may think holding anger protects you, but often it keeps you tied to the wound. Forgiveness is not for the person who hurt you. It is for your own freedom. It is the moment you say, I will not carry this fire forever. You can forgive and still walk away. You can forgive and still have boundaries. You can forgive and still choose not to reopen the door. Forgiveness is not weakness. Forgiveness is cleaning the mind from poison. A protected mind does not keep drinking poison just because someone else handed it to you. Another way to protect your mind is through right speech. The words you speak create an atmosphere inside you. If you constantly complain, the mind becomes heavier. If you constantly insult yourself, the heart becomes weaker. If you constantly speak with anger, anger becomes stronger. This does not mean you never speak about pain, but speak with awareness. Speak to heal, not to feed suffering. Speak to understand, not to create more confusion. Speak truth, but do not turn truth into cruelty. And remember, inner speech is also speech. The words you say inside your own mind matter. Do not speak to yourself like an enemy. Do not call yourself worthless. Do not make your mistakes your identity. Do not use your pain as proof that you cannot heal. Speak to yourself with wisdom. Say, I am learning. Say, I can begin again. Say, this moment is hard, but it is not forever. Say, I deserve peace. These words are not small. They rebuild the mind from within. Protecting your mind also means understanding impermanence. Every toxic thought tries to convince you that pain is permanent. It says, this will never change. It says, you will always feel this way. It says, nothing will get better. But Buddhism teaches that everything changes. No emotion stays forever. No thought stays forever. No season stays forever. No pain stays exactly the same forever. Even the heaviest feeling changes when you observe it with patience. When toxic thoughts tell you, this is forever, answer with wisdom, this too is changing. This one thought can bring light into a dark moment. Impermanence does not only mean losing things, it also means suffering can pass. Fear can soften, anger can cool, confusion can clear, the mind can heal. You can grow beyond what you are feeling right now. Do not let a temporary thought make a permanent decision for your life. When your mind is dark, wait, breathe, rest, let the storm pass. Do not make your whole future from one painful moment. The mind becomes dangerous when it believes pain is permanent. Protect it with the truth of change. Everything is moving, everything is changing, you are changing too. This lesson is not about becoming perfect. You will still have toxic thoughts sometimes. You will still overthink. You will still feel hurt. You will still have days when your mind feels cloudy. That does not mean you have failed. The path is not about never falling into old thinking. The path is about noticing and returning. Return to the breath. Return to the present moment. Return to compassion. Return to wisdom. Return to peace. Every return is a victory. Every moment of awareness is progress. Every time you stop feeding a toxic thought, you are protecting your mind. Every time you choose not to replay old pain, you are protecting your mind. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, you are protecting your mind. Every time you walk away from unnecessary drama, you are protecting your mind. Do not underestimate these small choices. They are shaping your inner world. A peaceful mind is built quietly. It is built in the moments when nobody is watching. It is built when you choose not to react. It is built when you breathe through anger. It is built when you stop yourself from believing fear. It is built when you forgive yourself after a mistake. It is built when you choose silence over drama. It is built when you return to now instead of living in the past. This is how mental clarity becomes strong. At first, protecting your mind may feel difficult. You may notice how easily you are pulled into toxic thoughts. You may realize how much negativity you have been carrying. You may see how often your mind creates stories. Do not be discouraged. Seeing the problem is the beginning of freedom. Before awareness, the mind controls you silently. After awareness, you can begin to guide it. This is a beautiful turning point. You are no longer completely lost inside the storm. You can see the storm. And once you can see it, you can choose how to respond. Buddhism does not ask you to hate your mind. It asks you to understand your mind. Your mind is not your enemy. It is simply untrained, wounded, and conditioned by many experiences. When you train it with patience, it becomes your friend. When you care for it with compassion, it becomes softer. When you guide it with wisdom, it becomes clearer. So do not fight your mind like an enemy. Protect it like a sacred place. A sacred place is treated with respect. You do not throw garbage there. You do not bring unnecessary noise there. You do not let anyone destroy it. You keep it clean. You enter with awareness. You care for it because it matters. Your mind deserves the same respect. Do not let every toxic thought walk through it freely. Do not let every negative person leave their poison there. Do not let every old memory become a permanent resident. Do not let fear decorate the walls of your inner home. Do not let anger become the fire that burns everything inside. Make your mind a place where peace can enter. Make it a place where wisdom can speak. Make it a place where compassion can grow. Make it a place where you can rest. This is the final lesson. Your mind is your responsibility. Not everything that enters your mind is your fault, but what you keep feeding becomes your responsibility. You may not control the first thought, but you can choose what you do with it. You may not control what people say, but you can choose how deeply you let their words enter. You may not control the past, but you can choose whether you keep living there. This is your power. Protect your mind, not because life is always easy, but because life can be difficult. Protect your mind, because the world will not always be gentle. Protect your mind, because people will not always understand you. Protect your mind, because fear will try to enter. Protect your mind, because old pain will sometimes return. Protect your mind, because your peace is too valuable to be left unguarded. And as you protect your mind, you will notice your life changing from the inside. The same problems may not feel as heavy. The same people may not control your emotions as easily. The same memories may not pull you back as strongly. The same fears may not speak as loudly. You will become steadier. You will become calmer. You will become clearer. Not because life became perfect, but because your mind became protected. This is the gift of Buddhist practice. It does not promise that no pain will come. It teaches you how to meet pain without becoming destroyed by it. It does not promise that toxic thoughts will never appear. It teaches you how to see them, understand them, and let them pass. It does not promise that the world will become quiet. It teaches you how to find quiet within yourself. So from this moment, treat your mind with care. Guard what enters, watch what grows, remove what poisons you, water what heals you. Return to the present, speak kindly within. Let go of what is not yours to carry. Choose peace again and again. Your mind can become a prison if you leave it unprotected. But your mind can also become a temple if you fill it with awareness, compassion, wisdom, and peace. Protect your mind like a sacred place, because everything you are becoming begins there. When the mind is protected, clarity returns. When clarity returns, peace becomes possible. And when peace becomes possible, life becomes lighter, softer, and more beautiful from within. If you obey blindly, suffering continues. If you observe wisely, awakening begins. So become the watcher of your mind. Sit quietly inside yourself and notice what moves. Do not hate the thoughts. Do not chase them. Do not build your identity from them. Let them come and go. Learn from them, but do not become their prisoner. Your thoughts are visitors. Your emotions are weather. Your memories are echoes. Your awareness is the home. Stay close to that awareness. When you live as the watcher, toxic thoughts may still appear, but they cannot rule you the same way. Fear may still speak, but it will not become your master. Anger may still rise, but it will not always control your actions. Sadness may still visit, but it will not become your whole identity. Old pain may still knock, but it will not drag you back into the same prison. You will still be human, but you will be more awake. And the more awake you become, the clearer your mind becomes. The clearer your mind becomes, the more peaceful your life feels. Not because life stops changing, but because you stop being lost in every change. Not because thoughts stop appearing, but because you stop believing every thought. Not because pain never comes, but because you learn how to hold pain with wisdom. This is real freedom. Become the watcher of your mind, and you will no longer be a slave to every toxic thought. You will begin to see the mind as it is, changing, moving, speaking, remembering, fearing, hoping, and reacting. And behind all of it, you will discover a quiet awareness that has been there all along. That awareness is your refuge. Return to it again and again. When the mind becomes loud, return. When thoughts become toxic, return. When emotions become heavy, return. When life becomes confusing, return. Return to the watcher. Return to the breath. Return to the present moment. Return to the quiet place inside you that can see everything without becoming everything. There, mental clarity begins. There, peace becomes possible. There, you remember that you are not the storm inside your mind. You are the one who can watch the storm pass. The world will always offer you reasons to react. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be problems that appear suddenly. There will always be delays, disappointments, and uncomfortable moments. You cannot control all of that. But you can train yourself to pause, and the pause changes everything. It helps you respond from the person you want to become, not the wound you are trying to heal. This is a beautiful way to live. Before reacting, ask, is this response coming from my wound or from my wisdom? If it comes from your wound, pause longer. If it comes from wisdom, speak or act with clarity. Your wound may want to punish. Your wisdom wants to protect. Your wound may want to chase. Your wisdom wants dignity. Your wound may want to shout. Your wisdom wants peace. Your wound may want to give up. Your wisdom wants rest, healing, and patience. Learn to recognize the difference. This practice requires honesty. Sometimes you will pause and still react. Sometimes anger will still win. Sometimes fear will still control you. Sometimes you will realize too late that you spoke from pain. When this happens, do not hate yourself. Use it as practice. Say, I reacted this time. Next time, I will try to pause sooner. This is how growth happens. Do not turn the path into another reason for self-criticism. You are learning. The mind has been reacting for many years. It will take time to train it. Be patient. Every small pause matters. Even if the pause is only 2 seconds, it is progress. Even if you notice the reaction after it happened, that awareness is progress. Even if you return to peace later, that return is progress. Buddhism is a path of returning, not perfection. Return to awareness. Return to breath. Return to patience. Return to the pause. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. At first, you must remind yourself to pause. Later, the pause begins to appear by itself. You will feel anger rising, and something inside you will say, "Wait." You will feel fear speaking, and something inside you will say, "Breathe." You will feel the urge to reply, and something inside you will say, "Not yet." That inner voice is wisdom growing. Protect it. Listen to it. Strengthen it. Every time you pause, you are training your nervous system to feel safe without immediate reaction. You are teaching your mind that not every discomfort is danger. Not every delay is disaster. Not every criticism is destruction. Not every silence is rejection. Not every feeling requires action. This is how the body and mind become calmer. A reactive mind is always tired because it treats everything like an emergency. A peaceful mind knows that many things can be met slowly. Many things can be handled calmly. Many things can be released completely. The pause teaches the mind this truth. You do not have to fight every battle today. You do not have to answer every question today. You do not have to fix every feeling today. You do not have to solve your whole life in one moment. You can pause, you can breathe, you can return to clarity. This does not make you slow, it makes you wise. In Buddhism, a wise person is not someone who never feels emotions. A wise person is someone who does not become blindly ruled by emotions. They feel anger, but they do not let anger write every word. They feel fear, but they do not let fear close every door. They feel sadness, but they do not let sadness define their whole life. They feel hurt, but they do not let hurt turn them into someone they do not want to be. This is the fruit of the pause. It allows you to stay connected to your values, even when emotions are strong. It allows you to choose kindness when cruelty is easy. It allows you to choose silence when drama is calling. It allows you to choose truth without hatred. It allows you to choose distance without bitterness. It allows you to choose yourself without destroying others. This is a higher form of strength. When you pause, you become less available to toxic thoughts. A toxic thought wants immediate belief. It wants you to follow it before you question it. But the pause says, "Wait, let me look at you." And when you look at the toxic thought clearly, it often becomes weaker. Fear says, "Everything will go wrong." The pause asks, "Do I know that for sure?" Shame says, "You are a failure." The pause asks, "Is one mistake my whole identity?" Anger says, "Destroy them." The pause asks, "Will that bring peace?" Anxiety says, "Think about this all night." The pause asks, "Can this be solved right now, or do I need rest?" This is how the pause becomes a sword of wisdom. It cuts through illusion. It cuts through exaggeration. It cuts through old stories. It cuts through automatic suffering. The pause does not remove all pain, but it removes unnecessary pain. It helps you stop making wounds deeper. It helps you stop adding poison to poison. It helps you stop turning a difficult moment into a destroyed day. This is mental clarity. When you learn to pause, life becomes lighter, because you no longer respond to every wave as if it is a flood. Some thoughts are only waves. Some emotions are only waves. Some people's words are only waves. They rise, they move, and they pass. You do not have to drown in every wave. Stand still. Breathe. Let the wave pass. The more you practice this, the more peaceful you become. not because the world stops creating waves, but because you stop jumping into every one. This is the calm strength of a trained mind. So from today, make the pause your practice. Before speaking, pause. Before replying, pause. Before believing fear, pause. Before judging yourself, pause. Before entering drama, pause. Before making a decision from pain, pause. Before carrying someone else's anger, pause. Let the pause become your protection. Let the breath become your anchor. Let awareness become your guide. And when you pause, remember this: you are not losing time, you are saving peace. You are not avoiding life, you are meeting life with wisdom. You are not becoming weak, you are becoming free from the control of every toxic thought and every sudden emotion. A person who pauses can choose. A person who chooses can grow. A person who grows can become peaceful. This is the path. You do not need to react to everything. You do not need to answer every thought. You do not need to follow every feeling. You do not need to prove yourself in every moment. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is breathe, stay still, and allow wisdom to arrive. Pause before you react. Because in that pause, anger can become understanding, fear can become clarity, pain can become wisdom, and the mind that once lived in reaction can slowly become a mind that lives in peace. Your mind is one of the most important places in your life. If your mind is full of toxic thoughts, even a peaceful day can feel heavy. But if your mind is clear, calm, and protected, even difficult days become easier to face. Buddhism teaches that you do not have to believe every thought that enters your mind. You do not have to live inside fear. You do not have to carry old pain forever. You do not have to react to every emotion, every memory, every opinion, and every story your mind creates. You can pause. You can breathe. You can observe. You can let go. You can return to the present moment. You can choose thoughts that heal you instead of thoughts that destroy you. Toxic thoughts may still come, but they do not have to control you. Anger may rise, but you do not have to carry it like a treasure. Fear may speak, but you do not have to obey it. Old pain may return, but you do not have to live there again. Mental drama may invite you, but you do not have to enter. This is the power of awareness. This is the power of mindfulness. This is the power of protecting your mind. A peaceful mind is not built in one day. It is built every time you choose wisdom over reaction. Every time you speak to yourself with compassion. Every time you stop feeding fear. Every time you let go of what you cannot control. Every time you return to the breath instead of following toxic thoughts. So protect your mind like a sacred place. Do not allow every fear, every harsh word, every painful memory, and every negative person to live inside you. Your mind is your home. Keep it clean, keep it calm, keep it filled with thoughts that bring clarity, strength, compassion, and peace. And remember, you are not the storm inside your mind. You are the one who can watch the storm pass. When you understand this, life becomes lighter, your heart becomes softer, your reactions become wiser, your thoughts become clearer. You stop being a prisoner of your mind, and you begin to live with more peace, more balance, and more freedom. So from today, choose peace again and again. Choose clarity again and again. Choose awareness again and again. Because when you protect your mind from toxic thoughts, you protect the quality of your whole life. And when your mind becomes clear, your life slowly begins to feel peaceful from within.